Nice, nice, nice.
Who are these people? I don't remember playing against these when we played these lot.
Very sleepy. MV are I don't know who Raisin is.
That's
actually.
Chris. Buggers.
Oh, is it?
Ah.
That's their fragger.
When do you want me to post the link? Do you want me to just wait a couple of rounds and then post it?
What, the stream link?
Yeah. Post it now if you want. Cryo's out here stream sniping.
Hi, Ferb. Who are we waiting on for you guys?
Joe.
Bloody Joe.
Raisin vinegar. What the fuck is that name?
It was a
how do you think of that?
No, it was a bet. Because for some reason we were talking about different types of vinegar for some reason, and then we bet Chris if he went like 0-9 in another game on ESL, he had to change his name.
Oof.
And he did. So when we changed our name, he had to change it, and he changed it to that.
That's funny. Right, I think we're ready to go when you guys are.
Yeah, I think we're ready to.
Cool.
Sorry guys, you good to go?
Yeah, we're both ready.
Okay, I'm gonna start then. Have fun guys.
Yeah, good luck.
Have a good match.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck. So if you're just tuning in, this is Clown versus LAGR for the Something Something Cup quarter final. Taking place on Cafe. We have obviously got LAGR with Pugnoy, Rex Roy, Vulcan, who is a recent pickup for them, Street and Pag. Only Vulcan with a rank so far. Clown have banned Thatcher straight away. They've got Freda, Amiga, Envy, Sleepy, and then Raisin. Monty banned for LAGR. Cafe defender sided, so LAGR probably going to have the easier start to this match, but could go either way. From what I've seen, Clown do have some quality, but I do think that LAGR have been around as a team for longer. I expect them to be the favourites coming into this. Mirror ban, so we'll probably see Echo or Maestro as the final ban, but we might see something coming out as a surprise, maybe a pulse ban or something like that. And yeah, we see the Echo ban. So pretty standard bans across the board so far. Let's see how both teams line up for the first round. LAG are actually going to kitchen cooking first, so going to the bottom floor. Showing the Valkyrie here, so the IQ also being shown, possibly going to know that she's got some work to do to find these cameras. Other than that, fairly standard. A couple of C4s on the board for LAGR, so if Clown go for a roam clear, they're going to have to go careful, although the pulse is actually getting 6 picked off onto the 1Y. Could cause a couple of issues here for Clown, who... Oh no, they actually 6 pick onto the sledge, which is useful against the castle. It does mean the Valkyrie is going to be quite difficult for them. I'm surprised they didn't choose to get rid of the Hibana, to be honest with you.
Locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I'm not sure you need both hard breaches here in favour of... I think I'd probably stick the IQ so you can swap without camps, and castle is going to be difficult, so the sledge pick makes a lot of sense, but yeah, the utility meta definitely going to be making the attacker's choice quite difficult here. So LAGr reinforcing bakery at the moment. Not sure if they're going to put someone in here to hold it, but I would imagine with the Wamai it would make a lot of sense to do so.
10 seconds remaining.
Make some castle barricades over by the VIP side of the map, so maybe extending out into the bar a little bit, but no freeze or rotate.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
All of the attackers spawned here on the park side. Looks like they... If I know Clown from having seen them with scrims, I reckon they'll be going for a roam clear. So yeah, we're just repelling up the side of the building, trying to get up to the top floor to clear it out. And the Pulse 6-pick actually going to harm LAGr here, because I think that it would have worked in quite well to actually counter the roam clear. It would have made it very difficult for the sledge to be in trains and mining without getting C4'd. A bit of trouble with the hatch, but it does get opened, and drone's now going in. Sophia probably going to be the first one in the building. Just everyone up on the roof at the moment. This is the problem with the roam clear. It can burn up quite a lot of time just getting to the roof and just getting this entry. Sophia being a little bit nervous, but making the first entry into the building. A minute gone and only the top floor under control so far. With that said, the drones are linking up quite well with the actual players, so fairly confident looking roam clear here. Just a little bit slow perhaps. It would be good to see it come out a little bit faster. Especially as I don't think that LAGr have anyone roaming. They've got everyone on the bottom floor, so... Clown taking up a lot of time here, but... dropping down into the middle floor. This bandit's going to be crucial, because I have a feeling that Clown will consider going towards a freezer side push once they see how much utility is on the board in bakery. So the banditry could turn out to be quite an issue to them. The freezer hatch is getting open, so Pag putting his batteries down, not going to be able to hold this spot anymore now that the hatch is open. I swapped out to Zafir. I haven't seen any gunfights so far. Neither team has kind of gone into each other's area, so lots of prep work being done, just kind of building up towards this last minute of the play. And Sleepy gets the first kill, coming down the pillars. I'm not actually sure whether Castle was playing. I think it must have been near Coat Room. Oh, actually, it was actually in the bar, so... opening pick there for Clown, but they do only have 45 seconds left, so this is going to come down to a last 40 seconds. There's no smoke on the board for LAGr, so it could go either way. There is a lot of utility to break down, but the Habana is just walking into the bar here, considering just going straight through this rotate. Vertical pressure coming out from the Zofia. Habana may be feeling like she's used all of her utility, but not deciding to get this freezer wall. I think the Thermite is probably going to be the one going for this. I'm not sure if they've actually already opened. Yeah, they have. So Havana feeling like her utility is no longer relevant and considering making a play, but 15 seconds left to go here, and it's going to be crucial last 15 seconds. Is Omega tries to make the play in as Zofia. Doesn't see the Wamai, gets the trade there from the Nomad and pushes into sight. 1 second left, and Fredo's getting the plant down here. Just Fredo and Sleepy alive. Sleepy has got to try and cover the plant here. And he doesn't manage it. Vulcan manages to down the diffuser, and convincing round there from LAGr, who just punished Clown for wasting too much time on room clearing. I think Clown did well to get the opening pick, but they need to speed up the roam clearing. They need to identify when the other team don't have anybody actually roaming. Not very many kills, and I think that reflects the fact that Clown spent a lot of time clearing out a part of the map which wasn't actually being occupied by the defenders. Pugnoy flexing on the Malusi. I don't believe that's allowed to be in play, so he's going to have to 6-pick off that. Showing off that he owns the season pass, but yeah, going on to the Kaid now. Good round from Sleepy, who made a couple of entries, opening kills even, but just yeah, running out of time there towards the end, and the diffuser getting planted, but getting denied in the additional seconds.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
LAGr onto the top floor, which is a bit more default side, so not surprising to see Kitchen come out first, but not the normal route. Both sites are pretty viable in my opinion, probably on par with each other. fairly standard. They've reinforced this bar wall looking across the new balcony, so if they are playing Pixel it will keep it safe, but it does mean that they can't deny the plant from inside as well.
10 seconds remaining. Attackers have located a bomb.
Again, busting up the Jaeger on my, so probably going to stack up a lot of utility on this Pixel corner.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Now, a lot of teams I've noticed putting the shield backwards in Pro League. It's actually, I think it provides more coverage. LAGr not choosing to do so, leaving a tiny gap between the shield and the wall, which is fine. I suppose it gives you an angle to peek through, but two different ways of doing the same end result. Again, all of the attackers just getting up to the top of the building, which I think makes a lot of sense on Cafe. You see Pro League teams do it quite a lot. Just get to the top, open these hatches and just start droning in. Make sure you don't waste any of your drones, because it is quite difficult to, especially if there's a mute Mozzie in play, to get them through these narrow doorways when there's mute jammers and pests everywhere. It can take a lot of time. And no Mozzie here, but the mute jammers, I don't know if they're being used to deny the wall. I would imagine not with the tie-in play, so the drone's probably having a little bit of difficulty, but they have managed to drone out all the shop, and they know about the Jaeger playing Pixel now, so Cryo taking a little bit down the Jaeger here, falling back to white stairs. Now I wonder if the attackers are going to pick up on this evacuation from Vulcan. I'm probably going to swap between calling him Vulcan and Cryo, because he's had a recent name change, so if you hear me saying either of those, I am talking about the same person. Pugnoy actually gets the pick onto Envy. I didn't see where that was. Could be a crucial opening pick here, as this bomb site doesn't typically take as much time as the roam cliff of the bottom floor, but lots of utility getting dumped into this Pixel, where I don't think there's even anyone playing here at the moment. The attackers seem completely unaware of that. They could at this point just repel in, destroy the shield, and the shield is now gone. 1 minute and 13 left on the clock. Street below with this C4 could be crucial. Good kill there from Omega, taking control of the washrooms, and Sleevey again playing this Habana role, playing very aggressively, even with his utility not having been placed down, but making the play, trying to come through this washrooms, getting some good angles, but not quite landing the shots, which is unfortunate for him. Raider gets the kill onto Rexroy. Sledge down here in a 1v1 with the mute. Could be important if he's able to deny this mute the chance to see for his teammates. But a couple of kills going on here is Sleepy swings through the cocktail, trying to get the skill. He actually manages to kill the Maestro, so just street in the 1v3 now. Still got his C4 available. Presumably he's got a ping on this planter, which is, he's sticking with diffuser surprisingly, so doesn't need to kill that to street. Diffuser denied here, it's 11 seconds left, but Street aware that his flank is being held, gonna have to make the play up the staircase. If he can land the shots onto Habana, which he's not able to do unfortunately, he swings around, just lands for his shotgun, but doesn't manage to kill the sledge, and it goes 1-1 here. Is successful, I think it was, yeah, post plant from Raze. No, he actually came off the plant, so went for the kill instead. I can't tell if the plant actually went down then or not. I think it did, but I will check in a moment. Sleepy so far having a very good game. He's being brave and making some plays, which I think the rest of his team are being a little bit too cautious to do. Just a little bit surprised to see him sticking with Habana. I think it would make more sense if he went on IQ. Aside from getting the freezer hatch in the first round, he hasn't used any of the hard breach, and the thermite could be used for the freezer hatch as well, so not quite sure what they're getting out of his utility. It would be probably better to see him go on an IQ roll and actually be the fragger. LAGr trying the top floor again. Pugnoy playing the mental games and showing Melusi and Goyo, making the attackers think about bringing more nades, but then actually going on to be Kaid. Makes a lot of sense with the Thatcher ban in play.
Attackers have located a bomb.
I'm wondering if the Kaid is worth it here. It does mean that this wall's not getting opened, which I suppose is beneficial, but I wonder if the Mute Mozzie combo with the Thatcher ban, and combined with the fact that you're then running LAGr will might to protect these evil eyes and the pixel
5
shield.
seconds to insertion.
Could make it very draining on the attacker's resources.
Attackers are moving
With
to
that
defuse
said,
the bomb.
the attackers are bringing quite a varied lineup. They have got 2 nades and 2 impact charges, so they've got the utility to destroy the shields and the evil eyes. They're having to use their flashbangs very cautiously. Make sure they burn all the ADSs and magnets. And again, same kind of process where they're just coming up to the roof here to get the hatches open, get all of the intel on this top floor cigar. I see Vulcan. I don't think is potentially the most comfortable player on this pixel spot. He's swinging out from a shield a lot, and he doesn't seem to want to stay in it. He did evacuate it quite quickly last time, but it actually worked out in his favour as the attackers ended up dumping all of their utility onto a spot where no one was playing. I think that's more poor intel from the attackers than a deliberate play. Drones all around, and they are getting shot here, so the attackers losing the opportunity to connect their entry fraggers with the droning, but they are picking up the intel on what's going on in terms of utility.
Cover me, reloading!
Vulcan in a difficult spot as he knows he's been droned out several times now. He knows the attackers are here, and he's going to have to try and judge how to play this with all of the flashbangs and nades coming at his shield shortly. And his nerve is broken, and he runs away from the spot straight away. But Zofia actually on her drone. She's actually the last one in the building, which is a bit surprising to me. Surprised to see Envy being the one to throw these flashbangs in so early. Zofia just watching the flank, which seems a bit odd. You'd think they would be the other way around, but they have actually got control of Cigar now. They've got rid of a shield with a nade. Entry, sorry, yeah, Omega on the entry, just spotting this evil eye. Not testing it beforehand, so a well-placed magnet could have actually stopped that, but gets away with it for now. The evil eye has been destroyed. Street below with the C4. If he's not gone detected, then he could get a couple of easy kills here, but doesn't seem to be going for that at the moment. As Sleepy gets the first kill again onto Pugnoy in the freezer. I'm wondering if Sleepy again is going to... He is the guy making the entry through this washroom's rotate. And nice kill onto Rexroy. He's on 6 kills and no deaths so far, so he's having a good game, but Vulcan does finally shut him down. Over to Zofia to be making the plays now. Sees the Vulcan, but doesn't quite land the shots.
15 seconds left.
Again, this Sledge just sneaking around, trying to get the kill onto the Mew. Actually misses his shots here, but Freida's trying to get the plant down, and Zofia trying to cover. Lands a shot onto the Maestro, so the plant does go down to the bar. 2v2 here, knifing the air. A team kill, but a trade nonetheless. Oh no, it doesn't actually get the trade, and the diffuser's going to be denied here by the defenders who have won the 2v2 situation, and it's going to go 2-1 here, so fairly standard cafe so far. 2 defensive rounds out of 3. Makes sense considering how the game's going, and Sleepy, again, having a good couple of entries, but Clown continually cutting things for wire, and it's going 50-50 for them once they actually manage to get to the plant situation. Back down to kitchen for LAGr, and I think that makes a lot of sense considering how inefficient the attackers were with their time in the first round. Similar setup coming out from LAGr. The 6-pick onto a kite here is big brain because Bakery wasn't pushed at all by Clown, and they did open the freezer hatch, so I'm assuming the electric law is going to be to get the freezer hatch, which could put a bit of a problem into the attacking lineup. And again, I've got to go back to Sleepy, bringing this Habana. There's a couple of cool things you can do with Habana. You can open up a prep wall, you can open up a small bakery wall. Of course you can get the hatch, but if that's going to be electrical, you'd be better off using a thermite charge on it. So I want to see Clown make use of the Habana pellets. Otherwise I just feel like bringing the IQ here would be beneficial. You can spot the electrical through the floor, you can spot the vault cams, the banner batteries. Yeah, just a little bit confusing for me running the double hard breach and not making use of it.
Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
Eclipse is in the chat saying that was a terrible attack. That was a little what? Oh no, that was actually the last round, so Eclipse not fond of the post plant. If you are watching, put your predictions down in the chat now that we've seen a couple of rounds from these teams. Which way do you think this is going to go? LAGr are actually getting a little bit brave this time and roaming up towards the top. Castle with the best gun in the game, running around on this top floor. Valkyrie on the red says, just watching the hatches. Just thinking maybe that the attackers were quite time efficient. Maybe just making it look like they've got people up on the top floor could just completely ban out the attackers' time here. We're seeing a similar kind of approach coming out from Clown, who, despite having good entry players, they're spending so long droning out the top and middle floor. Is a little bit quicker this time. They've only spent 1 minute and 20 and they are already getting the self-destruction down, so definitely a bit of an improvement for them. I'm wondering if they actually saw Picasso and they've managed to track him back down and they know it's clear as a result of that. But again, they've got 1 minute and 30 left to do all of the site construction. So let's see how this works out for them. Spotting one of the Valcams, so a little bit of good progress there. All of the defenders back on the bottom floor, just contesting these vertical angles at the moment. Street playing this castle is being the most aggressive of the defenders at the moment, just peeking upwards, considering testing these angles, and sees the head of us. Oh, lovely shot there from Street, just catching the head of Raisin. Unlucky there for the Sledge, who was caught out on a pixel angle. Habana just crouch walking up. Head spotted by the Valkyrie, who is considering getting aggressive here and makes the play, lights up the Nomad but doesn't finish it off. And going to use a C4 here. A little bit misthrown, doesn't land the shot. Street does get a second kill in the background whilst I'm watching this. A nice pinch there from Zofia coming into sight and getting two, almost getting a third. And Freda comes in, downs for Kaid, and now it's 2v2. Freda is getting the... No, Freda comes off the plant to try and chase the kill onto the castle. Actually lands it, and now in a 1v1, but only 5 seconds left to go. And gonna have to try and chase the kill. Here doesn't know where the LAGr is, and unlucky from Freda. Some good kills towards the end there, but again, Clown taking such a long time to clear out the top floor, and I got to question whether or not this is the play for them. They've clearly got the gun skill to take on LAGr, but I think they're just taking the wrong approach to do so. On to reading for LAGr, who have now won the top and the bottom floor in a row. Let's see what they do with this middle floor site. This is a best of 3. I'm not sure that there is a castle sorted yet for the next 2 maps. Sleepy still on this Habana, even going onto the middle floor. I'm wondering if the attackers should... they're adapting. They did show the IQ and they've gone on to the Capital, so they're changing things around a little bit, but I'm just wondering if they're doing it in the right manner. Let's see if LAGr is comfortable on this middle floor site.
Attackers have located a bomb.
So, not the normal way of holding the top floor from what I've seen recently. A lot of teams tending just to reinforce off the cocktail lounge and the bar backstore wall here at the top of white, and just set up shields or castle barricades here just to fully defend the cocktail lounge. But LAGr expanding this a little bit further, coming out into the back store and washrooms. Trying to hold a lot of a map here. Not necessarily a bad thing, because we have seen McClown are quite intensive with their roam clear. And it could actually work quite well to counter Clown. Just wondering if it spreads them out a little bit too much. I'm wondering if they've actually got the laundry hatch open, which I think is a good thing. It gives them the option to fall back, but let's see how this works out.
Deploying drone.
Similar kind of approach from the attackers, just coming in through the top of the map, coming in through the hatches, joining out this pixel corner, which is such an iconic part of clearing out Cafe. Habana getting lit up here. This angle she's on is absolutely crucial, but it does leave you exposed when you're up on the AC, so if someone peeks you, it's difficult to get back to cover. Decides to come off it after losing some HP to it. I got 7 people watching at the moment. I don't have a single prediction on how this is going to go. Rotate actually on the bottom floor here, which is a little bit strange. The Habana crouch walking up, just sneaks her way up onto this Maestro and gets the kill. Meanwhile, Vulcan gets a kill onto Freda. Sleepy taken out, traded off with Street here. So the solo push from Habana kind of working out, but I think that's possibly the 3rd or 4th round in a row I've seen the Habana pellets not get used. Oh, the wall bang coming out there from Amiga. Nice crosshair placement as he gets the headshot through the wall. Bit of a questionable rotate, making a lot of noise when the shield is still in play.
Shock ready!
And a lovely pinch fire from Clown, who bait out the Wamai with the sound off for concussions and have someone on the other side to catch him out. And now just Street and Pag downstairs trying to hold down their site. Double shotty SMG 11 combo here. C4 already been used, so just for smoke canisters left. Now reinforcement actually in pocket with Pag, which is a little bit sloppy from the defenders in my opinion. A lot of the upstairs walls left soft, so could have done something with it. Oh, that's a shot from Street there, out onto Raisin in the pillars, and Raisin's been unlucky. He's on 1 of 4. I don't think he's I think he's getting caught off guard by some nice plays here. Double kill coming out from Street, showing his class with the SMG 11. Now down to the Zofia here to try and get a play, but Street just shutting it down on the SMG, and oh, they actually traded there at the end. We're not going to see much of it, but Pag here, the last guy alive, winning the round for his team. And it is 4-1 for LAGr, so not out of reach for Clown, because it is Cafe, but they need to get this round on the board, and even then they're going to have a difficult comeback. 4-2, even for a defender-sided map like Cafe, is not good for the attackers. It does mean that you are trailing behind. Even though the side swap can help you, it does mean that you've only got the opportunity to lose 2 defenses, which as soon as you do that, you're then putting yourself onto match point against you. A lot of people I think are under the misconception that defender-sided maps swing 4 or 5 rounds towards the defense. It just means that on average you don't see attackers getting a 4-2 advantage. It's normally either 3-3 or 4-2. I think here we could see this go towards a 5-1, judging by how both teams are playing so far. And that could put Clown in a very difficult spot going on to the other half. With that said, I do think that Clown have got the potential. I think that what's hurting them so far is that they're taking so much time to do quite utility heavy, quite roam heavy clearances, and it's not really working out in their favour. I think if they went a little bit more direct, went straight to the bottom floor, for example through Bakery or through the middle floor,
5 seconds left.
even just pushing through this bar here, I think they'd have more luck. Whereas at the moment they are attempting to clear the entire map, which is not working out in their favour. So I think we're seeing the same setup again. Jaeger, Wamai, Mute and Kaid. This has worked out once out of twice so far for LAGr, so can't blame them for trying the same thing again, but They've actually swapped it around now, so Vulcan is not playing on the pixel spot, it's actually Rexroy. I'm wondering if Vulcan's just not got the nerve to play it. Rexroy feeling a little bit more confident to sit through these flashbangs, which he is going to have to endure because he absolutely cannot see his rotate. And he does survive them, so his shield actually survives as well, which is a little bit unexpected. I would have thought that would be followed in by a nade by the attackers, but just clearly looking to burn the ADS, and he's been able to put down a magnet as a result of that, so I've got to question the play coming up from Clown, who should have cleared the shield at the first opportunity. I'm hoping Rexroy doesn't give this up, because if the attackers aren't going to burn the utility, he's in a perfect position just to sit on the shield and put down a magnet later on. If he can time this correctly, but he is actually getting burnt out by the Capito, and he's going to get caught off guard and not able to rotate at all, so... Good utility cleared to get the Capito bolt down. I think the magnet could have been better placed to avoid that, but... So, and Sleepy gets a kill onto Street downstairs as well, so they knew Street was solo roaming downstairs, and they punished him for it, and they've put themselves in a really good man advantage here with just a minute and 30 left to go. Not very much time wasted for the defenders, who've only wasted about a minute and a half, and have lost 2 people in the process. I think Street roaming downstairs when Vulcan's playing nearby is a bit of a mistake. He should have gone to support him a little bit more, but the defender's just getting ticked off one by one here, and Vulcan does get the Capitao. So equaling it into, well, not equaling, but turning into a 2v4, so immediately caught off by the air jab, and although the Hibana misses the shots, it does get punished by the Nomad, and now Pag in a 1v4. He does have the LMG, so this is not an unwinnable situation. Does get the first kill. Knows the diffuser goes down, but doesn't know that the guy is in freezer, and gets a shot onto the Nomad as well, and gets taken out finally at last, but missing for 4-2. I think we saw the strength of the Elder there with not needing to reload at all in that clutch, but not quite able to land the shots onto the Thermite, and a convincing attacking round there from Clown, who I think adapted to the solo roamer downstairs really efficiently, and they give themselves a fighting chance in this game. Let's see how they do on the defense. They've only got a couple of opportunities here to slip up. If they lose one round, then the pressure is immediately on to avoid going to the match point.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So, unlike LAGr, Clown are choosing to go to the top floor first, and I think we're going to see pretty similar setup with the Jaeger or my Maestro, which makes a lot of sense on Cafe, because you have this pixel corner, you can just dump a utility in it, and then once the utility's burned, you've got the Evil Eyes for the late round, which are a nightmare for the attackers to clear. But then actually doubling in with the castle as well. Now, a lot of teams castle off the door here, which makes it really awkward for defenders to rotate, but it does provide cover to anybody playing in shop from the minibar and piano windows.
5 seconds left before insertion.
And this is even more utility for the attackers to ban out. I am going to have to question castling off both of these. We'll see how it works out. I've never actually seen a team castle both. This does mean that whoever's playing in shop is going to have absolutely nowhere to go. But I'm actually wondering if they're even playing someone here. I think they might just be surrendering it completely and locking it off. So fair enough, it's an approach. Let's see. It's definitely going to make it difficult for the attackers who aren't running a sledge. So it is going to burn up a couple of the Ashen Zofia charges, maybe a breach and charge from the Zofia, but oh, Mavericking the hatch. They have the Thermite in play, so not a misplay perhaps with that in mind. But I wonder if they're going to be trying to use the Maverick to get the walls open later in the round. There's no actual wall denial, so maybe a good read from the attackers. Now, Clown banned out the Thatcher, and I'm a little bit surprised to see them run this setup without any wall denial. I suppose the Thatcher ban does mean that the ADSs and Magnus can't get all taken out on Pixel. But with that said, no wall denial seems like a little bit of a weakness here, as the Thermite will be able to just go up to the wall and open it. So red wall open here, fairly standard here coming up from the attackers who are presumably going to be chucking all of their utility at the wall mine next. C4 onto the new balcony, lights up Rexroy but doesn't get the kill, and Sleepy unlucky there. Sleepy and Street have been having very good games between them. Definitely the standout players for each team. And the flank... Oh no, it was sorry, just a player challenging below by the looks of it. So actually taking out the Valkyrie. Pugnoid does get killed in the shot, presumably by the pixel corner, so... A couple of trades coming out there. Good map control for the attackers who do now have shop and cigar under control and know that there's no one downstairs. There's no C4s left on the board for the defenders, so no use going below anyway. The defenders at least traded off and have definitely burned out a lot of the attack utility in the process. Pag choosing to open up the bar wall, which I'm a little bit surprised about. I would have thought that opening freezer would be a little bit more beneficial. Pugnoids are off the board, so they don't have the option to open up the others. And a little bit of a strange plant strat coming out here. No smoke grenades for the attackers, so they're going to have to set up these angles correctly to provide coverage to the Thermite. And they're just looking at this Evil Eye. I'm not sure if they don't have the utility to get rid of it, but Vulcan has just been injured, and if he's the only one with the ability to get rid of it at this point, it's going to cause him a lot of issues. Street's just trying to walk up through the middle here and make a play, but he's not able to get the kills, and just like that, Clown collapse onto LAGr, who seemed to just run out of utility and weren't able to get a plant down. No smoke canisters, very little map control, and even though they managed to breach the bar wall, leaving that freezer wall reinforced, I think was a little bit of a misplay from the attackers. Onto kitchen for Clown. Clown this time actually choosing to bring the Kite, which I think is definitely the correct choice considering their ban at the start of the game. And the LAGr or my castle coming out again, so I like this a lot from Clown. Being sure to bring the utility to prevent the attackers having quick entries. They're taking shields, they're taking castle barricades and protecting them with the Magnus and ADSs. And now they're doubling it up with a Kai to make sure the attackers have a lot of issue getting this wall open. Pugnoid gonna be tested here to get this Kai either off the wall with the Thermite or just to cut the wall open entirely. LAGr taking the Jackal, which is an interesting decision. It's understandable because top floor's locked off, so they know they're going to have to roam clear one way or the other. But the only thing that the Jackal brings in terms of utility is the shotgun. So he does open up the wall if a Maverick decides to trick it in that manner.
5 seconds to go.
With that said, the combination of Jackal and IQ is going to leave them very short on flashbangs. So although they've got the nades from a Maverick and the Zofia impacts, burning up these ADSs is going to be extremely difficult with only the flashbangs from Pag. Could be an interesting little play from the defenders if they are able to burn out all of the flashbangs without losing any of their shields or castle barricades. And we're seeing two teams here who seem to like roam clearing out the top floor cafe, and there's only one roamer here, just Omega, who's roaming around near reading at the moment. I don't know if he's been detected so far. The attacker's on the middle floor with him. He's actually got 2 ADSs in pocket, which is a real shame because I think that's a complete waste of utility. Maybe his prep not quite set up in time for him to be able to go and do this properly. And a drone has come for reading. The attacker definitely seems to know where he is, but Omega does get the kill onto Rexroy, but gets traded off straight away, so... not sure... MB died as well. I'm not sure if that was... I'm assuming that was from vertical play. Because I didn't see him up on the top floor with the others, but... Hatch getting open here, this C4 could be absolutely crucial, as it does take out Pugnoy, who is not having the best of luck on this Maverick so far. Equals out to a 3 versus 3. it's a pretty successful roam, I would say, coming out for Clown, who've been able to trade off 2 people. More importantly, they've taken out all of the projectiles that LAGR had. So LAGR are going to have a lot of trouble now if they walk into any castle barricades at the end of the round. I think that's a very well placed electrical, which I believe is most likely under this vent here, preventing the IQ from getting it. Not sure if LAGR were aware that they would get caught off by that. This hatch actually been open. I'm assuming it was a thermite who went down to get this, who's now getting the freezer wall as well. And Vinegar doesn't have an electrical available, so he's not able to do anything about it. And yeah, as I predicted, the attackers now having to resort to meleeing the castle barricades, which is a massive sound cue and a huge giveaway for what they're trying to do. And they're now getting punished as they try to come into sight, funneling in through the narrow entrances available to them. And the plant going down with no coverage whatsoever, and Makai able to swing on it here, and Freda actually gets injured as Vulcan makes a play coming in through this freezer. It is a 1v1 here, so Vulcan's got the potential to clutch this out for his team. Seems to be considering chasing the kill onto the Maestro.
15 seconds to go.
Grabs some diffuser, finishes off a Maestro, and possibly baiting out a plant here, so Sleepy gonna have to try and time this right to try and get this Jackal to come off the plant, but pros don't bait in. Vulcan gets a plant down, gets his cost for the round, but not the play there as he makes it too easy for Sleepy just to catch him as he stands up off the diffuser, and defenders convincing setup there, trading off on the roam and then just taking out all of the projectiles from the attackers, and LAGR are not running enough flashbangs to be able to burn out all of the utility. I gotta say, Jackal and IQ stretching them a little bit. Let's see what LAGR do, because the combination of double hard breach from both teams I think is making it difficult for both of them to get the utility that they need. Especially now that the defenders are going on to reading, the double hard breach is not achieving a huge amount. I would definitely take Pugnoy off the Maverick and put him onto an Ash. Get the extra projectiles, get the flashbangs. Keep the IQ and Jackal in play. Oh, that's an unfortunate disconnect there for Freda, so I'm not sure if we're going to be going for a rehost. I'll wait for both teams to message me to see what's going on. And yeah, it doesn't look like we're going for a rehost here, so 4-4 and both teams leaving the game.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defeated.
Do that, drop pillars and try plant too. Just be careful of that. Hello boys.
Oh, can you guys make sure you go onto the original side of it you're on, so LAGR on orange?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hey. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, I woke up so late.
Same. But I was having breakfast at 2:30.
That sounds about right.
Picture of his Rice Krispies in the chat and we're like, street, that's just not right.
Everyone was coming on to get like spats going, and I was still in bed.
We had a long night of PC last night. Oh my god.
Yeah. What was it like? 2 o'clock by the time we'd finished?
Yeah, it was pretty late.
Good night. Good night.
It was good though.
Yeah.
Hey guys, sorry mate, DC'd.
No worries.
Or did you do it on purpose?
Who is Rex?
No, I did just invite him. He should be here soon.
Okay.
Nice.
There he is. Right, I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good to go.
We're good.
Cool, yeah, you guys, let me just check the round history for review if you don't mind. So,
Yep.
got orange won 4 rounds of defense, and then swapping onto the other side, blue team 1 defensive bar cocktail, and then 1 kitchen cooking.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yes.
cool. Let's go. Have fun, guys. Good luck for the rest of it.
Alright, yeah. Good luck,
Good luck,
guys.
fellas.
So we are back in after the rehost. Back in at 4-4. Defense have got bar and kitchen locked off for them. Going back to reading. It's been a fairly even game so far here. A couple of standout players for both teams, Street and Vulcan, racking up the kills for LAGr. Pugnoy has immediately left the game. We'll try this again. Trying again, as I got the bands wrong, so it does need to be Monty instead of Jackal.
You don't want to hold it, but
And kind of, I don't know, even if you're underneath, it's still
Oh god. Hey guys, again.
Hey.
Omega, you need to switch. Who do we need to? Oh,
Looks like we got an improvement.
I wouldn't know about that. Omega.
So Thatcher, Monty, Mira, Echo, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool, is everyone good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Have fun, guys.
Yeah.
Third time
Good luck,
lucky.
guys.
See you guys in another 10 minutes when we rehost again.
Well, I got the round count correct, which is a start. Let's hope I've got the objectives in the correct order. The bands are correct this time with the Monty band instead of the Jackal. And back to reading room for the first and the third time for Clown. I've noticed a lot recently when I've been spectating games that the operator picks haven't been loading in for me. I'm not sure if that's just the players struggling to get to the operators once the match has been rehosted, or if it's just a bit of lag on my side, but it looks like everyone got who they wanted, and we do see the double hard breach dropped by LAGr at last. So, still bringing the nades from a sledge, which I think is a good choice. Possibly would have considered more flashbang still, but the self-destruction definitely going to help them a lot attacking onto reading, so viable both ways. Let's see how they decide to use the utility. Street on the IQ is going to have a lot to do with these goo mines and vault cams.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And now, Clown going into reading. I've never seen them go to reading. I don't see very many teams reinforce this wall, so
Attackers
we'll
have
see.
discovered the location of a bomb.
They're also extending out into mining, which is not a way of holding this site that I've seen any other team do. Let's see how they... A really interesting setup coming out from that, actually. Extending all the way out into mining, only reinforcing the cocktail and white stairs walls.
10 seconds
Could be the
remaining.
play here, because a lot of teams will come across, they will struggle to clear out this cocktail side, and then
5 seconds
they'll come
to go.
down, and the defenders have got a lot of room over here in mining to try and play in now. Definitely an interesting setup. I'm still not sure about this reinforcement between the sites. I probably would have moved that over to laundry to give them a little bit more safety, but maybe, I suppose it cuts off the angle from the window, so could be quite a useful little anchor spot there for Trader created, but interesting. Definitely a very different strat from what I've seen other teams doing. Let's see if this catches LAGr off guard, because they probably won't expect quite such a hard hold of the meeting walls, the mining walls, sorry, I mean not meeting. But not a particularly amount of, no one in play here for the defenders, so no shield set up on Cocktail. And they are just going to drone out everything on Cocktail straight away. The Legion is spotted, he's going to have to just try and play this position with the rotate, which is, it's a little comfy position for him. So he's got a little bit of time to waste out here, but attackers already coming in the building, opening up this red stairs wall and working their way along white. And the Valk actually spotted laying down in washrooms now. Pugnoy getting quite aggressive, maybe just relieved to come off a hard breach and be able to play a little bit more of an aggressive role. And the goo mines here definitely going to work to slow down the attackers as Raisin gets the first kill onto Pag. That is the hard breach gone, so having been saying about playing only one hard breach, I've now just seen the team immediately lose their hard breach, which is unfortunate, but reading's not a site where you have to have the Lemma alive. You can still get a plant down in the reading doorway if you play it correctly. These goo mines here are going to be getting on Vulcan's nerves as he has walked into two of them now. Pag using the soft destruction to make this rotate. Gets the kill through the soft wall, so he's going to put his team into a man advantage. Diffuser has been dropped and they're just looking around for these valve cams which get spotted. That's an interesting cam behind the TV there. Now let's see, without the hard breach, how LAGR do to turn this into a plant situation. They are just getting the soft breach above the laundry default kind of anchor spots. Vulcan debating whether or not he's safe to drop down into the cocktail, and we saw at the start of the round that the defenders reinforced mining, and the LAGr's going to be in a great spot here to deny the attackers from dropping down into pillars, as they do put themselves into an equal man count. So the ping coming out here, presumably from the Evil Eye, giving the LAGr this information that he is safe to come through and challenge this late in the round.
A bomb has been located.
And the attacker's getting a little bit short on time here. The LAGr's flank is going to be absolutely crucial.
15 seconds to go. The attackers bomb
The
diffuser
attackers
has
are
been
coming over.
dropped.
Vulcan does seem to be watching the flank, so aware of his LAGr and aware of the setup, aware that he could get flanked at any moment. As
5 seconds.
Pugnoi is going to have to try and plant here. Difficult for him as he comes wading through the smoke grenade. So trying to plant in the middle of a room, which is not going to work out in his favour. And LAGR
Operators, you have run out of time.
struggling here on the attack, having lost 3 in a row. Going to make it very difficult for them as they are ceding their advantage of 2 rounds coming over the half. Back onto the top floor attack, so LAGR adapting, changing their attack lineup, but not getting anything from it just yet. And Pugnoi does go on the Ash, so I'm not sure if he's just happening to think the same process as I am, but I definitely think this is a good lineup. They've got the Ash and Zofia to clear utility, but clearly Pugnoi not thinking the same way I am and considering going to a 6 pick. Goes on to the gridlock, so gotta say I love the gridlock. I think she's a very underused operator. Bit surprising to see them bring out 2 operators with smoke grenades. The Jackal and the gridlock perhaps is a little bit of overkill. The defenders here running the my shield combined with 2 Evil Eyes, and the attackers only have the Zofia to get rid of them, so some of that utility is going to be left up towards the end of the round. And they've also only got 3 breaching charges in the Zofia to get rid of these castle barricades, which we saw they got punished for when they were attacking the bottom floor because they ended up meleeing some of the castle barricades. This could work out the same again for them, as Rexroy playing the entry fire. If he doesn't get these breaching charges down on the castle barricades quickly, they are going to be an obstacle for the attackers to work around.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Pugnoi not even running the ACOG on the F90 here for gridlock, which on Cafe, I would say most people run ACOG on Cafe. I think it's a map where you've got very long angles for majority of the gunfights that you're in. Definitely not a hollow map for me, but personal preference obviously coming out for a lot of people. I think we've actually got a double roam downstairs between the LAGr and Valkyrie, which I like the idea. If you've got the C4 operator, and then you've got a second roam there protecting her, and Sleepy gets the kill onto Pugnoi, who's just trying to solo into mining, and not the play here for Pugnoi as he does cede the opening kill for the round. The defender's actually still reinforcing. I'm not sure if this is part of the strat. I'm not sure if they're trying to work around what the attackers are choosing to do, but Vulcan just cutting off the freezer rotate, making it a little bit awkward for the castle sat in the freezer here, but both players allowed to just continue roaming downstairs, and I think the Valkyrie's still got her C4 in pocket, so it's going to be a real issue towards the end of the round. As LAGR do not have the utilities to take out these Evil Eyes, which means one of them is going to be up, and with the C4 below, that means that the planting for them is going to be very difficult if they get pinged and blown up as a result of it. And LAGR, I feel like they're just potentially losing their momentum, which they had coming into the half. They were at 1.41 up, so they've lost 4 rounds in a row. That top floor defense where they just seem to crumble potentially got their mood down a little bit, and since then they've not been able to get around on the board. They don't look particularly confident to be doing so again here. As Vulcan has been holding this angle the entire round almost. It's just on Rexroy here, who seems to be the only one looking to make any entries. But he doesn't seem to have the intel to do so, and he knows that this shield is in the way. as well as a bulletproof cam, which I hadn't actually spotted. So that's another camera the attackers are going to have difficulty getting rid of, which could lead to a C4 kill at some point. The Sleepy goes for a run out on Vulcan, who has been holding the same angle the entire time and gets punished for it. Raisin gets Street as well, and now just Pag and Rexroy in a 2v5. Definitely not looking likely to clutch this. Valkyrie gets a kill without even having to go to use her C4. And now Pag getting one kill onto MB, lighting up another. Not aware of the person coming through the red stairs breach. Shooting, pre-firing up the wrong angles, unfortunately. Just not looking likely to be able to do anything here, as it does go to match point for Clown, and I am surprised that LAGr haven't been able to get anything going on their attack so far. We've seen 4 rounds in a row where they haven't been able to get a single attack win, and I gotta question the Jackal pick. I don't feel like they're particularly getting much out of the utility. And LAGr just seeming to... LAGr don't strike me as a team that work well on Cafe. They seem like they want to play for frags a little bit. I feel like they could be a good team on something like Coastline. I'm sure they've got players in their midst who understand these parts of the game, but their lineup has just been a little bit questionable for me the whole time through. We do see Vulcan actually go onto the Buck, which I think makes a lot more sense. You've got flashbangs at last, and you've got the self-destruction steel. I'm hoping he doesn't go onto the Jackal again, because I really don't see what that's offering them. It just feels like LAGr are just walking up to Evil Eyes, Shields, Bulletproof cameras, and just kind of staring at them and stalling out, because they're too afraid to progress to the next section of the clear without being able to deny the defenders their information.
Bomb located by attackers.
And now they have put themselves onto match point, so LAGr still have the potential to come back. There is overtime on here. This match is not lost, but they do need to make a quick turnaround and crack out some good attack rounds to be able to get themselves back to overtime. And after earlier where I was saying that matches shouldn't be going significantly over to the defender side on Cafe, we have only seen 2 attacking wins so far across 10 rounds, so very defender side of Cafe so far. Neither team's looking particularly confident on how to attack it. Clown doing a good job of breaking down a couple of the attacks in the last few moments. They were very slow on their attacks, and perhaps just a little bit of inexperience, but I think they've got at least the right idea of how to do so. Whereas LAGr seem to be, at the moment, looking a little bit lost, even though they're not going for such time-consuming approaches. And Vulcan gets picked off by Raisin, who I'm not sure how he's managed to get that kill. Oh, that's a lovely angle there from Raisin. I think it must have been a one-tap, judging by the way that Vulcan was taken out. I wonder if Vulcan's feeling a little bit tense at the moment. It doesn't seem like... The last couple of rounds we've seen Pugnoy try to make a solo entry into mining, and we've seen Vulcan immediately get killed on that small bakery window. It just seems a little bit rash from LAGr. It makes me think that they aren't communicating particularly well. They aren't droning for each other in the correct way. Or not so much they're not droning, but the entries aren't trying to connect with the drones. They're just trying to take their own engagements, and it's not working out for them. LAGr, a minute and 45 left to salvage this to one more round after this to try and salvage the overtime. I gotta say, it's not looking likely, but it's not past them. They do have the ability to do this. But I wonder if they're feeling a little bit disappointed with themselves at this point with how the match has gone. And Street gets taken out, and that is 2 of the key players for LAGr taken off the board who were fragging out before the rehost. Rexroy does get 1 kill, so not looking as bad as it could have been. But all 3 attackers now kind of bundled up into the same staircase, wondering if they've just struggled to get any map control. And this isn't going to work out well for them if they all try coming down into this angle. And the proximity alarm actually beeping off Aaron Red Stairs is a new gadget to the game which I've not seen much of, but definitely harming the attackers here who, although they're in small bakery and red stairs, they have been spotted in the process. A complete re-evaluation here for the attackers who've gone down to bakery. The Kite has been injured, so this isn't out of the reach of the attackers, but as I say, that 2 defensive kills and possibly the res coming out on Kite All down to Rektroy for his team, trying to clutch a 1v4
Recovered the bomb diffuser.
just to get them to another round before getting the chance to bring this to overtime. And peeking around 2 getting lit up, getting taken out by the Maestro, and we do see Clown take Cafe 7-4 with convincing defense. Let's go speak to both teams afterwards. Let's see how they're both feeling, and we'll see what the second map is.
Two maps. We can still get this.
Good half, guys.
Hey, man.
GG.
Good third, I should say.
GG, boys.
That's alright. Have you got a castle for the second map, or do you want me to castle next one as well?
Well, if you can. That would be
Yeah, I'll
great.
stay on for it.
Don't worry if you're busy.
Nah, it's alright. What is the next map?
Clubhouse?
Club.
Okie doke. Who's defending it?
We're attacking first.
Your LAGr who's speaking, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, LAGr attacking
That's
first.
okay. So yeah, I'll put orange onto attack then, so I'm not going to swap the side, but
Cool.
I'm going to go straight in. Have fun, guys, and good luck.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Good
We're
boy.
ready.
Have fun.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
So we are on to map 2 here, between LAGr and Clown. Clown taking the first map, Cafe 7-4. Only 2 attack rounds won from the entire match. Both teams not looking the most confident on Cafe attack, both taking quite a lot of time to clear out, but Clown at least managing to take a couple of their roam clears into defusing situations and winning some post plants. Maverick Band coming out for LAGr, which is pretty standard for Clubhouse. And the Monty ban again, so I'm not sure if it was I think it might have been the opposite teams who banned Monty, but both teams here not wanting him in play. I can't remember which way round the bans were, but I remember Thatcher getting banned. I think it was yeah, it was definitely Clown who banned Thatcher last time, but would choose to ban the Monty this time, so bit of a strange choice, but neither team potentially able to play the Monty if they're both choosing to ban him, so bit of a wasted ban potentially in that respect, but at least the teams can agree that they don't want him in the game. And Mirror Echo again, so both teams banning out fairly standard utility, but we see removed in Pro League very often. With that said, in the last match I didn't particularly see kind of Ash Sophia combos, which I think are pretty common at the moment with the LAGr Wamai meta. And as I say that, straight away Clown going to CC, taking the LAGr Wamai, and the Maestro as well, which I shouldn't ignore that, because that is the main reason why LAGr Wamai is so powerful. You burn out all of the attacking utility and then they can't get rid of the Evilize. And Clown have been doing a good job of throwing in this Valkyrie, which makes it really awkward because the attackers want to take an IQ to be able to counter that, but it just, particularly on maps like Cafe and Clubhouse, there isn't the space to do so. And it does mean if these Evilize don't get destroyed, the Valkyrie's able to just sit below with a ton of intel and most likely get a C4 kill at the end of a round.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers. Bomb located by attackers.
So, Clown do seem to know what they're doing here. They have set up a kind of default rotates the normal shield looking at the CC breach, but actually reinforcing logistics walls, so I like seeing this. A lot of teams tend to reinforce these garage walls. Clown completely surrendering it. not what we see every time, but they are giving themselves a couple of nice angles over in cash to sit in, and I gotta respect them for
5 seconds left
having
before
their own
insertion.
ideas about how to play the map.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
LAGR, a couple of drones over on the gym bedroom side, so what a lot of teams are doing at the moment is Zofia tricking this bandit off the wall and then going for takes for either garage or bedroom. Let's see which way LAGR choose to approach this. Sledge coming up here, not opening any of the garage wall from what I've seen, which I'm a little bit surprised about because that garage wall is free real estate at the moment. And I think the attackers are going to be going for the Zofia trick here, so I hope that they're able to work this. I hope they know what they're doing. Definitely seems like they're setting up in the right order, but they haven't droned out the door, so no barricade on it. So Frader not aware that he can just put down a barricade and stop the Zofia charge from hitting him so early, but the wall does get opened. And now Frader has resorted back to the shield spot, which is why the shield is so useful. Actually going off to bandit trick the other side, which makes a lot of sense. It looks like one battery was caught by an EMP. So he's going to put all of them down, which is going to burn out the EMPs, which means they won't be able to get the evilize. This is the juggling act of Clubhouse now, as the attackers have to try and decide with their remaining utility how they want to approach this.
It's going dark.
EMP going down outside, taking out the batteries on the wall. That's a lovely EMP spot.
Reloading.
Vulcan in such a key position here, just having to deny this rafters rotate. Choosing to get rid of the Eviline, and a bit of a misclick there as he fails to destroy the shield. Could come back and hurt the attackers quite a lot, as the bandit's going to be able just to sit on the shield for the remainder of the round. Wall behind him is open, but because of the fact that the shield is still here, he's got quite a lot of space to play in. So Frader's got the room to play. Let's see if he's got the ability to make use of this. I think a couple of the Habana pellets were actually shot off by one of the defenders. These logistics walls maybe give them a little bit of comfort, and the Habana pellets on this cache construction wall haven't gone off properly, which is going to be a real thorn in the side of the attackers here, who aren't able to get in through. Oh no, the C4 at Pugnoy's feet, and the Habana pellets gonna punish him. The street here comes through into the red stairs. Picks up a single kill. There's a couple of kills go down here, and the bandit, after I've been talking about having the space, needs to be making some plays here. The defender just squandering their map controllers. They aren't able to win the gunfights inside, and LAGR, despite not taking out the utility, force their way through cache. Street just walking in through the construction into cache door, and the defenders not holding the correct angles. Bit of a sloppy first round there for Clown, who had a very strong position. LAGR made a couple of mistakes, failing to take out the shield, messing up the Habana pellets and not getting the cache wall open, but Clown not able to capitalize on it, losing gunfights inside which shouldn't be lost, and the round going to LAGR a little bit surprisingly. We could see that come back and punish Clown, but let's see how they do on Church Basement, because I think it's going to give us a lot of intel about how this best of three is going to go. If this swings off towards the favour of LAGR, then I think the third map is fairly likely. Maybe that was just a freak event from Clown, who up until this point their defences had looked fairly well organised, but with that one the utility was definitely set down correctly. They didn't know to barricade for the door on red stairs to try and protect their bandit, or maybe just give him a shield, either of which can delay the Zofia charge and stop the Zofia trick. But with that said, they didn't win their gunfight, so they are on to the next round, and this looks like some sort of variation of the SSG strat, as it's not full. It's not a full SSG strat because they don't have the Mozzie, but they have reinforced this logistics wall upstairs, and they do have roamers with the hatches open. So the castle barricade's going down as well. This is a really interesting kind of lopsided SSG hold, where they're only doing the logistics half, And they've kind of surrendered the CC, just leaving it open, leaving the attackers able just to sledge it open. And this vigil here, going to have a lot of work to do, as the entirety of LAGr seems to be clearing from the CC side. Sleepy gets lit up, and I'm not sure if a vigil's being detected here. He's going to be in a bit of a intense situation as he's trying to hold off all of these attackers, and he gets lit up. Him and Sleepy just falling off, not taking any gunfights and getting lit up for it, and they've wasted a little bit of time. Vigil refusing to give up the top floor so far. He's got a couple of impacts in his pocket, which he could make a play with here, as he's in a position to get the kill. He does kill Rexroy, so the sledge taken off the board for the attackers, who did a good job of lighting up these roamers, but now they're just stalling out a little bit, having to kind of reevaluate where they think the roamers have gone. And Vigil, no doubt, with his ability, wasting a lot of their utility in terms of drone work, and probably losing a couple of drones to him in the process. And the defender's able just to fall off. Minute and 30 wasted. They've got the opening pick. They've lost some HP, but they've definitely dealt some HP back in return. So very good roam here from Clown, who I got to say I think have done quite an interesting kind of half and half bunker SSG here. It kind of combines a few different aspects of being able to roam on the top floor whilst being able to support the actual site to deny a rush, and Raisin kills off Pugnoy. Yeah, so it's just Pag left in a 1v4 who I wasn't able to get to in time, unfortunately, because of spectator mode, but does get killed. So we will see the Valkyrie's kill cam, at least as the end of round kill cam. And that is possibly the only problem with casting on console, is on PC you're able to press a number to get straight to the player you want. On console you spend the entire time scrolling between L1 and R1. It does make it very difficult to get to the player in time in clutch situations. Especially when you're trying to look at the middle of the screen and try and pay attention to who you're on the periphery of your screen at the same time. I would say LAGr's utility makes a lot more sense to me on Clubhouse than what they were taking on Cafe. It seems a lot more generic, which is giving them the correct utility to do the kind of default attacks on Clubhouse. And I think Clown are showing some interesting ideas so far. CC was fairly standard apart from logistics reinforcements. The bottom floor hold, really interesting in my opinion. Well thought out, holding the kind of correct amount of the map. Also kind of enticing the attackers to come through CC, having left the wall soft, and then just falling back all the way across the gym, coming down into middle floor and just wasting a lot of time by running away. And it relied a little bit on individual ability to get some kills in the process, but well executed. As they do choose to go back to gym bedroom.
10 seconds left before insertion.
It's strange because their CC strat actually didn't seem too bad. It was their individual kind of performances on CC which cost them. Maybe not feeling confident to go back there at the moment as a result of that. It's going to be, if they win this round, obviously they will be forced to go back to CC unless they decide to go to the dreaded bar stock, which unless they've been watching Reaper videos, they most likely won't know what to do. But if they do go back to CC next round, let's see if they do the same thing. If they manage to lose this site, then let's see if they prefer to go gym bedroom or CC for the second time. So Vulcan has been using the impact grenades to open the CC wall. Now, I don't like seeing this considering that the Evil Eyes are in play. I think it's a massive waste of utility when there's a sledge on the board. But it is giving him a quick entry, so let's see what he's able to do with this. And they've got control of cache. They've burned out a lot of utility in the process, and Vulcan's now asking for angles to be opened, presumably by Rexroy, who is kind of nearby, but not in a position to do so. I think LAGR needs to kind of revise the roles that they want their players using, because at the moment Zophia's making all of the kind of rotates into the defense for the attackers, which isn't working out. The C4 there coming out. I actually think, I didn't actually see who that was from. I assume it was Mute playing below. Yeah, Sleepy below, so good kill from him. As the attackers do look to be stalling out once again. They've got control of cash, but all of the defense just anchoring, tucked into site. Vulcan does get a kill. As a proximity alarm goes off near construction. Probably making Vulcan a little bit unnerved here. And again, the attackers don't seem to be sure about how to approach this, as they do just somehow have a Thatcher in the bathroom already. Flurry of kills coming out here. It's a melee kill from Pugnoy comes out, and again the defenders doing a really good job of holding all of this utility, but just threatening to lose their gunfights in sight. As they do at least turn this into a 2v2, trading off, not injuring the Zofia now. So into a 1v1 between Pag and Sleepy, and Sleepy's got this castle barricade protecting him. He is able to reload his gun, decides to actually drop down, which is going to leave Pag in an awkward situation of peeking into sight. The Evil Eyes, once again, going to be crucial, as Pag's presumably going to be called out from the information. Yeah, he is getting pinged. And oh no, the missed shots coming out from Sleepy, who just needs to kind of... Oh no, he just needed to take a breather and just kind of reassess himself, just line up for one tap, and misses his whole mag of the SMG-11 and not able to get the shotgun kill. And Pag manages to clutch around. Not good from Clown so far, who twice in a row on CC and Gym Bedroom have worked out perfectly with utility. They've had Evil Eyes left up at the last few seconds, giving them the intel, and they just haven't been able to win the rounds with gun skill. LAGR, Vulcan has got to stop wasting these impact grenades on making openings into the map. You cannot be using the Zofia charges to open the CC wall when these Evil Eyes are leaving your person planting in the clutch situation getting pinged. It is a massive waste from LAGR, who have got 2 rounds on the board on attack now, which is, they didn't get a single attack round on Cafe, so they are looking more confident, but they are also getting very lucky in my opinion. They definitely were at the mercy of Sleepy there, who, despite top fragging for his team, not able to win that 1v1, and I wonder how he's feeling right now, because he's having a good game. He's on 6 kills. He's definitely having an impact, but when you get those 1v1 situations and you mess them up, it does have an effect on you. And I don't know the Clown guys particularly well. I don't know if they are a calm team. I don't know if they are a kind of aggravated team. But it's going to be a real test of Sleepy here to go from 6-2. Let's see how he goes for the rest of the game, having now been through that.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds remaining.
So, the attackers have the same utility again, which last time worked out well for them. They were able to get this impact trick down onto the bandit, and now they are barricading this doorway, so the defenders at least knowing how to adapt to this. The ADS also stacked up. This actually doesn't do anything, because the EMP going down is going to disable this ADS and the magnet temporarily. They need a shield or something here. The barricade could do some work. I'm hoping that LAGR know how to do this. If you have this barricade up, it doesn't stop the concussion from the Zofia, it just delays it. However, with the Maestro actually playing here, it might detonate quicker if he doesn't move, but they are just prepping this at the moment, burning out the ADS. That EMP actually doesn't catch the ADS. I'm a little bit unsure where it was placed. And there we go, the magnets and the ADS now taken out. The Fear Trick coming out, impacting first, and the barricade doesn't stop the impact trick here. So I think Zofia did time that correctly to get the concussion to land a little bit later despite the barricade. And once again, the wall opened here. Very successful trick here coming up from LAGR. Street has died in the meantime though, so Pag is going to have to go around to get this cash wall. And once again, Vulcans use both of these Zofia impacts. I'm not sure if he took out an Evil Eye, but he's not managed to get his shield out of spot, so one Evil Eye definitely still up here. Not sure where the other one is. I'm not sure if it's over by rafters or if it was taken out. The defenders have plonked the Jaeger down in the rafters with the one eye. So, put themselves once again into a good position. Pag opening up this cash wall. Pugnoy sitting right next to it. And I don't know what the attackers are doing there, as Pugnoy just goes next to the open thermite charge, and he just cost himself his life in the process. A team kill coming out completely unnecessarily. Pag does get the kill, and both teams doing their best to make it easy for each other here. As despite LAGr not being the most efficient with their utility and having some team kills in the middle of all of this, they are benefiting from what seems to be just a lack of confidence, I would say, on Clown's part in terms of holding their gunfights. So they have put themselves in a man advantage, but that is partly due to the team kill.
15 seconds left.
As it's just Vulcan and Pag here to try and make the play into sight. Pag gets one kill. Vulcan very aware of the two players in garage. Jumps over the window, gets the kill onto the Y. Leaves Pag planting in a 1v2, and Clown take the round. Sleepy getting a kill. Top fragging now on 7 kills. All of the other defenders racking up 2 or 3. Just MB down there on the 1v2, but playing for support roles. And he is the one to deny the plant, so... LAGr doing well to get the attack round that they've got so far, but they are making small mistakes, wasting Zofia charges, team killing each other with thermite charges. I can't help but feel that this should be, I don't know. Interesting game here coming out from both teams, who seem to be fairly balanced so far across these clubhouse defenses for Clown. Of course, this is a defender-sided map, so LAGr have put themselves in the advantage.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
It doesn't look like we're seeing the same strat come out from Clown, which is a bit of it's a shame, because I thought the idea that they had in the first round was really interesting, with the roam just kind of falling back across the map. But we do see them. I think this is looking more like a bunker strat so far. They've reinforced the kitchen and blue hatches. But yeah, it's looking like a bunker strat as they reinforce the bar hatch as well. So this could be a good choice for them, because it is for mental games now, where LAGr are expecting them to be roaming upstairs. And potentially going to go try and waste all their time again. Roam clearing this top floor, only to find that no one's there. LAGr did look like they had some aggressive drones inside of the map. No Evil Eyes on the board this time for the defense, so Vulcan perhaps a little bit more free to use his impacts how he wants at the moment. Let's see if this time he is able to get this. There's actually Jackal with him now instead of Sledge, so they're actually not entering anywhere near each other, so he's going to have to use his impact grenades to make his own entries again. And kind of as I predicted, the mental game's working out for Clown, as LAGr 40 seconds in, still clearing cache and logistics, coming across and not finding anyone, and kind of as expected, they are just pointlessly roam clearing the top floor. But with that said, Rexroy taking the Jackal, it's going to give them a lot of intel as they see the lack of footprints upstairs, and I think if they didn't have the Jackal, this would have taken them a lot longer, so it's a good choice there going onto him instead of a Sledge. But no IQ in play with the Legion and the Valkyrie. I'm wondering if Valk's looking for a C4 kill. She is getting Jackal tracked, so the defenders are kind of given away that they are trying to get a C4 kill here into the kitchen. Oh, and I think that was very close, but possibly on the wrong side of a corridor. Yeah, just on the wrong side of a corridor, as Rexroy is walking through the central hallway instead of a kitchen, and Havana Pellet's now going down on this hatch, and although I think the Legion and the Valkyrie is a good idea when there's no IQ being shown, no impact trick on the kitchen hatch is a little bit of a shame. As LAGr, minute left, are getting some of the crucial walls open, and some bandit tricks coming out, so gonna make it very difficult for the Thermite here, who does get tricked, but the Thatcher is just kind of walking in the back here as Bandit's too busy doing his job, and Pugnoy in sight as a result of that. Pag able to open the wall behind him. Fantastic map control here for LAGr now, as the defenders trying to rely on these bullet holes in blue to contest Moto, and Street gets Envy, and Omega and Freda left in a 2v4 with the plant going down. Nice shot there coming out from Pugnoy as Omega now left in the 1v4. Just trying to make some angles along this church hallway, giving away his position in the process. Very, very difficult clutch here, and I expect to see this go to LAGr, who I think could have been doing themselves some more favours on the attack, but looking pretty strong despite that, as they do go 3-2 up, and despite Cafe having gone strongly into the favour of Clown, I think we are seeing a little bit of a swing back here as LAGr look more confident on Clubhouse. I am just going to go and grab a drink quickly, so I'm just going to leave the scoreboard up here so that you can see everybody's stats so far. I will be back momentarily. I am back, the server lag, doing me a lovely favour there as I managed to make it back just before the setup for defenders. It's perfect timing. So in the first map we did see Vulcan and Street racking up some kills for LAGr. Pugnoy and Pag have stepped it up here for them. On the defense side, Sleepy having a very good game. If I remember correctly, he's got a couple of C4 kills at this point, so he's been doing a good job with that. But unfortunately losing that 1v1 situation, which could cost his team quite badly, unfortunately, for this second map. Now I'm really glad to see the defenders go back to their original strat, and I don't know what to call this, because it's not the SSG strat, but it does seem to have its origins from the infamous kind of Mute Mozzie Vigil combo which SSG ran. And I really do like the kind of the bait that it offers for the attackers to clear across from the CC side, which looks so easy to break into with the soft walls. But then the defenders have so many options just to rotate back across, drop down into this bar area safely, and I'll be intrigued to see if LAGr are able to break this down this time. Nice kill from Vulcan, making just the melee hole and getting the opening kill onto Valkyrie, so that's going to be absolutely crucial as they are now working around towards the middle floor, but it seems like Omega's been kind of undetected so far. Going to be a very important round for him if he's able to kind of flank down into the middle floor at the right opportunity, and Raisin is in the bar to assist him if needs be. Omega took a couple of shots there, so I think it's been detected and not as successful as a roam clear as the last attempt of this. I think the strat does rely quite a lot on gun skill and being able to get a couple of opening picks up there, which Sleepy unfortunately caught off by the melee holers. With that said, Raisin does actually pick up a kill onto Rexroy, who unfortunately not having the best of games so far. 4-4, minute and a half wasted for the defenders, who I think definitely got a good strat going for them here. As it seems to be, they're not just winning this out of sheer kind of... Obviously, I did mention just a minute ago, this is about gun skill, and I think that Sleepy did get punished for making a misplay. But this strat definitely has an idea behind it, and although it does rely on people trading off, and Raisin did a good job to do so there, I do think that the strat is set up in a way which suits the team. and I like seeing the way that they've done this. Because LAGR do seem to be struggling with time management, as opposed to when the defenders chose to turtle this site. It really didn't bother LAGR too much. They were able to come down and get the wall open, make a push through the church into the bar. And now LAGR, only 30 seconds left, then they're going to have a much tougher time trying to open up this wall and make all of the plays in the last 25 seconds, as Vulcan is just watching this main corridor where he's worried about a flank as Thermite breaches the wall. The wall is now open, but immediately Pag gets killed, and now just 15 seconds left as Habana drops down into sight. Just Street and Vulcan alive without the diffuser, and now it's down to Vulcan. 10 seconds, 4 people to kill. He gets one. He knows the guy's in blue, but doesn't land the kill as he gets his teammate finally traded off. And now he sees the guy in main stage, gets the kill here as well, but no time left on the clock. And an even split from Clown's defense is not going to be unwinnable for them, but LAG are definitely looking more confident on Clubhouse than they did on Cafe. On to LAGR's defenses, and they are going to CCTV cache first. So LAGR not going for the Jaeger Wamai. They are busting out the Mute Castle, and I've seen a couple of teams do this, where they put Mute Jammers below Castle Barricades. I'm not sure if that's what they're going to be doing here, but normally works better with a Thatcher ban. Makes it quite difficult for the attackers to utilize any of the windows without bringing Sledge. The attacking lineup from Clown is a little bit more explorative, as they have brought in the Capital. And yeah, LAGR do seem to be doing the... Oh, maybe not. They're not putting the Gemmers on the Castle Barricades as far as I can see, so possibly just looking to stretch the EMPs out, make sure that they can't cover all of the different walls. But then it is going to come down to some amount of gun skill here for LAGR to be able to hold this down without any particular intel ops towards the end.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
And 2 teams in a row here not holding the garage reinforcements, which I'm not sure where LAGR have chosen to actually defend this time. They've not put very many reinforcements down, as Pugnoy's got 2 in pocket, and Vulcan and Street both have 1 as well. So I'm not sure if it's just a really slow setup for them. Pugnoy only now coming back to get the cash wall 30 seconds into the round. EMP going down here. Doesn't look like they're going to be doing the Zofia trick, as Rexroy has got all 4 bandits in his pocket with 1 EMP wasted already.
Located by attackers.
I mentioned just a minute ago about Clown being a little bit more brave, running this Capital instead of a Sledge, and they are now resorting to melee and Castle Barricade, so potentially backfiring a little bit. They are giving away the fact that they are on the CC window, but nobody over by Gym Bedroom able to punish them for the intel, and all of the defenders looking fairly kind of crunched up inside. 2 on red stairs, 1 cache, 1 kind of CC. This is very much a turtle hold for CC, which I'm not sure if this is quite the play, as it doesn't look like a successful bandit trick from Rexroy, who gets the first thermo charge, and he's very low HP as a result. But crucial bit of utility off the board here as Vulcan gets the first kill onto Zofia, who I think went below. And Raisin trying to push up this red stairs. Sorry, he's actually in stock. So Sleepy and Capital over by the Gym Bedroom sides. I think it was actually Zofia and Raisin who tried going below. And Freda actually gets a headshot onto the bandit through the angles I suppose the Zofia must have made. Freda has gone from the hard breach onto the entry frag here, chasing down this Jaeger, trying to get the kill into the bar, running the angled grip, so going to be a little bit more confident as a result of that potentially. Does get the kill. little bit risky, although the thermite charges are gone. Freda is carrying the diffuser. And again, 2 castle barricades successful so far in terms of making the attackers just have to melee them off. And with the CC wall not breached at all, the attackers are resorting just to fully pushing around on the cache side. Gonna have to make use of the windows and doorways here as they're trying to push in. A little bit uncertain what's going on inside as they push in and just seem to be they don't seem to understand the angles of CC as well as LAGr do, as they were losing their defenses to LAGr just pushing in, and now they don't seem as confident on doing so themselves. So LAGr take the first round, 4-3 to LAGr here, who are now on the favourable side, and I do think we could see this map swing quite considerably as a result of that. I do think we're likely to be going to a third map here, but it's not out of Clown's reach to seal this off in a best of 2. They did take Cafe 7-4 for anyone just tuning in, and they do have the opportunity to win the entire series here. It is a best of 3, so if they win Cafe and Club, they have won. But let's see, LAGR looking fairly likely at the moment to secure the second map. And now, what a lineup coming out from LAGR, busting up the Jaeger Wamai and the Mute Mozzie in tandem with each other, which I'm a huge fan of liking. I like seeing this, but no Wamai coming out. Sorry, no Maestro coming out from them, so no hard anchor for them, other than potentially the Mute, who's probably running shotty, but let's see if this is a bunker strat or not. I do wonder if we've got a bit of a mixed idea here, because the Mute Mozzie really suits the defenders if they want to expand up and try and roam in the entirety of the map. The Jaeger Wamai much more suits a bunker strat where they can just kind of sit down and sit behind a couple of shields, make it difficult for the attackers to get into anywhere because of the utility being in the way. And it looks like they're bunkering, which is possibly not the best use of Mute Mozzie, because the attackers don't have to roam clear as much with as much difficulty, because the Mute Mozzies are all going downstairs by the looks of it. So the attack coming through the top and middle floor aren't going to have any issues. When they get to the end, it could cause them some difficulties, I suppose. It might lack intel at the end, but it's fairly standard where people sit on Clubhouse. You know there's going to be a guy kind of in blue. You know there's going to be one impact trick in the hatch, and then it does look like LAG are a little bit roaming, so it could catch them off guard in some aspects, but we'll see how this turns out. The dirt tunnel already opened by Clown. And now Vulcan's up here roaming. He's got Street up with him as well. Street's playing in quite an aggro position already over in the garage, but he is in a good position to flank down. So, interesting idea from LAGR, kind of sending all of the utility into the bottom floor and then just relying on a double roam as well to do some damage potentially. Street in a very good position here. I don't think the attacker's aware of him. He is just he's right next to all of the attackers. If he plays this correctly, he could do a lot of damage. Nomad putting down an air jab, and Street tantalizingly close to making a play here, but turns around, Habana sees him and he has to fall off. Really unlucky from Street, who I think if he had just pushed it into stock and thrown to C4 in, he could have taken out a lot of the attackers there, but Vulcan's still upstairs, so the roam not fully over for LAGR. Minute 12 left on the board as Street gets a C4 kill onto Envy, who I think had put down his air jabs at least, so his utility wasn't wasted. But the attacker's definitely not looking as confident on what to do now. Habana here down in Moto, debating just to walk into sight, but it does strike me that Clown don't have as much confidence pushing in without intel. They don't seem as familiar with the map as LAGR do, and whereas LAGR are able to push in the last kind of seconds without droning or without opening up the typical kind of routes. It does seem like Clown are a little bit less confident in doing so, but as I say that, they did make a couple of kills and they've been traded back and forth into a 2 versus 2. Sees some Mozzie coming out, so they know where the Mozzie is. They're just not sure where Vulcan's playing, and a lot of pressure on Vulcan here to support the Mozzie, who does get injured, and Vulcan now in a clutch situation, but gets killed. And I did not expect that to go that way. Clown doing a really good job of just trading out there at the end, who they didn't seem particularly confident in terms of where to go, but they just played for trades, and I think they just did a really good job of working together to make sure they didn't lose the man advantage at all, and just winning the last couple of gunfights at the end. So LAGr trying the bottom floor again. They are again doing the LAGr on my mute Mozzie. Going this time with a Valkyrie, so.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs. Bomb located by attackers.
Looks like we're going to see a fairly similar setup. I'm not sure where these mute jammers and pets are actually going. I'm kind of intrigued because none of them have been put down so far. I'm going to keep an eye on it and see, because it's kind of important whether or not, if they're going on the top floor to support this LAGr and the Mozzie roam, it makes a lot of sense. If they're going bottom floor, they are useful towards the end, but I don't think they're not wasting the time at the right point of a map. They should be wasting time on the roam clear, and the pests look like they are going top floor, but the mute jammer's going bottom floor, and it could work. I don't think it's quite as well thought out as the SSG kind of roam style. I think the mute Mozzie pests need to be right next to each other to have full effect, and I wonder if that's just allowing Clown to find a few gaps in the strat and try and get some intel just by kind of dodging around the pests. Yeah, this is kind of what I mean. So, despite the pest being used kind of around the middle floor, the LAGr here just being droned out, and there's nothing really protecting him on his roam. And it's effectively a solo roam against a team who's putting in quite a lot of effort to clear him. And he's getting shoved around the map here. Street is nearby to help him out as he sees. I don't think he actually sees that Habana kind of wide. Oh no, this could go really bad for Street, but he actually manages to get a kill out of it. So at least he trades off, and the Thatcher gets a reach and charge down. The rest of his utility taken off the board. LAGr here spotted in the rafters, and now Habana's going to be pushing him. So this is a crucial kind of 1v1 interaction here. As Vulcan wins the gunfight, and that could be defining for this round, and it could actually go on to define the rest of the game in terms of if LAGr have 2 viable objectives that they are able to hold, then they most likely are going to take this to the 3rd map. They've just got to see out this man advantage, make sure the last minute and 15 of this round goes in their favour. And the attackers in an uncomfortable position now where they've only got some utility available to them. They don't have any EMPs to help out their thermite charges. They don't have any Habana pellets as well, so thermite charges can have to be used very carefully. They can at least get a smoke plant down if they actually position themselves correctly. But they also don't have any. Well, they do have projectiles, but they don't have the projectiles in the right place at the moment, so they're going to have to go and clear blue, in my opinion. They're looking a little bit lost as to what to do. It's now, with only 3 people alive, now these mute jammers are going to be effective. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened if the mute jammers had been top floor and the drones had already been eaten up. Maybe this is actually going to work out in their favour for the defenders, as the mute jammers will stop the late round droning. And a lovely shot from Zofia, who finds herself in the 1v3 clutch. Gets a kill onto Wamai as well.
15 seconds to go.
Just Jaeger and Valk left here, but 11 seconds left on the board. This does look to be going in LAGR's favour. Very close round, which LAGR have pulled off pretty well. That kill from Vulcan onto the Habana did turn the entire round. It did mean that they won the roam. Could have gone either way, and LAGR looking like they are going to be able to turn this into a win, but not necessarily the most confident of manner of doing so. LAGR going back to CCTV, not taking a mute this time, still sticking the castle.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Again, I've not seen either team here set up to reinforce the garage, but actually putting a castle barricade on the garage door. No Thatcher in play, sorry, no Sledge in play I mean to say, so could be kind of useful in terms of slowing down the attackers. But it is external, so I do just expect the attackers to walk up and melee in it, and it's going to waste a bit of time, but possibly not the most crucial of castle barricades.
10 seconds to go.
I think castle barricades on the external of the map, they don't particularly waste much time. The advantage is that you can run out on them because it is going to be free intel.
Attackers are moving out to locate a
But
bomb
that's
and
not
defuse.
particularly a position where you can run out on, unless you go for a really brave new blue run out. So they're going to waste maybe like 5 seconds, and that's about it. We do see that just going over, and actually using a breaching charge on it, which is fair enough, but I'm surprised to see no Claymore for the Thatcher. Just leave the stock and garage run-outs available to the defenders. But with that said, the defenders are just bunkering, and they don't look particularly confident in playing aggressive. I know Vulcan's possibly one of the most experienced players on their team. Definitely the main fragger for them at the moment. I know Street is a gunner, but he's not typically a frag player. He's more of a flex. I've seen him do work on operators like Buck. I've seen him play really well on Castle. Vulcan be outright kind of Sophia Jaeger main for the team. It looks like another successful thermite trick for Rexroy, who playing the support roles here, doing a good job of just just surviving everything that's thrown at him. As he doesn't seem to be getting the second thermite charge, but he does at least deny one. So LAGR lose the main wall, but don't particularly lose any man advantage in the process, and Sleepy gets picked off, so Rexroy lit up, but they have a slight man advantage, and now they definitely have a man advantage as Vulcan gets the kill onto Amiga. And now once again the attacker's going to be in a situation where they've got less drones available to them, they've got to push into sight past some awkward utility, and that's an interesting shield. It makes some really uncomfortable angles actually for Envy here to peek into, as Frader does once again go Fragmite and pick off the Jaeger. Kappa's out here trying to work out a way to use his utility to the most effect. Possibly looking to smoke off the garage, which would be quite an interesting way of denying Pugnoy any influence on the round. But enough defenders playing over on red stairs, but I don't think Frader's going to be able to get a plant down. And the attackers, I think, have completely stalled out here, as although they've got good positions considering how many people they have left alive. They just don't have the utility to break down this red stairs. Frader immediately lit up. Envy follows suit as well, and it's just raising. Again, another 1v4 situation with like 15 seconds left to go, which I think we've seen quite a lot of in these two matches. And they are always trending towards the defenders, of course, so match point for LAGR, going back down presumably to the bottom floor, although I think they've actually won the bottom floor most recently, so they'll have to go onto gym bedroom. They could get the win here, and that will be 2 maps in a row, which will be 7-4, which will be quite interesting, so definitely a close best of 3. Not sure what the third map will be. Let's see if LAGR can close this out. Onto gym bedroom with the mute castle set up again, which is kind of interesting.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Mute castle, probably looking to protect these castle barricades on the windows from breach charges. The attackers haven't been running sledge the entire time, so they are going to have to use utility. If you put mute jammer on this, it's either going to waste an EMP and a breach charge, or it's going to waste a Zofia charge. But they're not backing it up with a Maestro, so even if Zofia is using her impacts on it, the impacts aren't needed for anything later in the round, and I think LAGR losing out a little bit because of that. I am seeing Vulcan moonwalking. I'm wondering if he's just having a little bit of lag right now. He's on 68, so it doesn't look too bad, but playing LAGr as a chunky 2-speed, having to put down all of these ADSs, I'm sure he's feeling very much like he'd rather be playing Vigil at the moment. Rexroy's bandit trick going to be fairly safe for now. No Wamai in play, so no counters with this Capitao. If they're able to place this bolt correctly, they could guarantee getting the south wall open for their team.
Drone is ready to go.
I think this setup from LAGR's got a few aspects of it that I quite like, but the Legion I think is a little bit of a waste when they could either be running a Wamai or a Maestro, and I think they could make it a lot more difficult as Trader once again seems to be successfully opening the wall this time, so not losing the first thermal charge for the bandit like I thought was about to happen, but successful Capitao trick, and I do respect the attack here for running the Capitao, but they are just losing their gunfights on Clubhouse. They don't seem to be as comfortable on this map as they were Cafe. I think we've definitely seen a case here that Cafe definitely seemed to be Clown's map, and Clubhouse definitely seemed to be LAGR's, and we are looking like we're going to be going to a third map. And although the attackers have managed to get the utility done, they just haven't been able to win any gunfights, so it looks like Clown have got the potential to play Clubhouse, but they just need a little bit more practice on it. They just need a little bit more familiarity with kind of the executes, the side pushes, just winning gunfights in clutch situations when there's not a man advantage. There's Trader here, going full fragment again. Capitao getting lit up, trading off with Rexroy on the main stairs, and I feel a bit sorry for Rexroy because he's been doing some work on that bandit. He's had some very unpleasant utility thrown at him, and the scoreboard kind of reflects that for him. But he's playing a very support role for his team, and I think we need to respect that. And he has got a couple of thermite charges as a bandit, which ultimately is probably his most important thing to do. He's definitely making it difficult for the attackers here, who they're getting a couple of the entrances open. I don't know why Freda's used both breaching charges on the jacuzzi wall just a moment ago. Using one on the bathroom here would have definitely opened up the site for them. Maybe Sleepy was supposed to come around and get it, but lack of adaptation from the attackers who are just funneling up main stairs. Coming into this, they're just going to whack it down and go for a smoke plant. It's going to be a very tense last couple of moments here as Freda's sticking the plant down, and Envy's got the situation to cover, and Street gets both kills, taking this 7-4, and LAGR putting us onto the third map. Good series so far. We are going to get one more map out of both of these teams.
GG boys.
Yeah, GG's. You got one more map, haven't you?
Yeah, can we have a 5-minute break before the last map? Mem, if you need to go, don't worry about casting.
Nah, it's
like,
all good. I'll stick around.
If you want to.
It's alright, yeah. I'll
Because
cast
it's good
over.
games.
So much.
If it was
Thanks
just people
so
getting bitch slapped.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to criticize you guys too much. Like, I think you both teams are good, but there are some there's some interesting plays coming out. Do you guys want to talk about that exothermic charge on the cash wall?
Nope. No, we don't. I did not think that would kill me from there. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't that close.
I was on the overview and I could see you right next to it as it was exploding.
Yeah, okay,
I was like, oh no. I could just see it happening.
Are you there?
Is he there? Omega.
No, don't think he is.
What's your final map?
Wait, is someone? Freddy, you're there, aren't you? Yeah, Freddy.
Yeah.
Is it alright if we just have a 5-minute break? I just want to go for a cig.
Yeah, that should be fine.
What's the final map,
I'll
guys?
be back in 5 minutes.
Villa, I think.
Villa.
Villa. Ooh.
Wait, because we both have the same round differential as
I'll be back in a moment.
Defense.
3,
Oh my god.
3, 2.
Oh, yeah, Frey, when you were droning top floor, I was getting so scared. I was just hearing people drop all around me. I was getting chased by a drone. That one drone chased me the entire top floor.
That was me.
It was just following me. I was like, and then I lie down in garage. Nah, it jumps through garage window.
Boys. I think Jimmy push Animal.
Really?
Yeah, you got dropped.
I doubt he'd get dropped.
Jimmy got dropped from Animal.
He couldn't get dropped.
Well, he's left. He's not on Animal anymore. I don't know what happened.
Hey, GG guys.
Yeah, GG man.
It's a good game, man.
Straight unlucky.
A little bit sweaty. I'm dripping here, boys.
Straight, do you want to use too?
Pagnoy? Is he here?
I don't think
no,
so.
Cool.
Smoking.
I am going to party chat with Clips because I'm going to be duo casting the last map of this.
That's fine, mate.
Before I go into party though, who is defending?
Oh,
We don't know because we both have the same round
Okay,
differential.
do you want me to do a coin flip?
Yeah, probably.
Can
Okay,
do,
so
that's fine.
Frida, choose. Do you want to be heads or tails?
Tails.
Tails, okie doke. Heads. So LAGr gets to pick side.
We'll defend.
Okay, so orange defend. You can hear the actual change, so you know that I didn't just fake that coin flip. Cool. And there was something else I was going to ask, and I can't think what it was. Oh yeah, are both teams ready? That's what I was going to ask.
Well, we're ready.
I think we're just waiting on Pig.
Okay. I'm just joining Eclipse's party, so I'll come back to game chat in a moment.
Yeah, that's fine, mate.
Hello? Waiting for Adam to be alive here.
I am alive.
Indeed you are. Cool. I I'm getting ready to start the next match. Have you got it live at the moment? Okay, I'm just yeah, going back to game chat, and then we will be starting Villa as the third map. Cool, I'm in party with Eclipse. Is everyone good to go?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
He's probably gone for a sig.
Right. Okay.
Please.
I will wait for you guys to.
I'll message you. I'll tag you.
Yeah, DM me. Okay. Cool. They're going to DM me at the start of the next match.
Sounds good.
So have you been watching the first 2 matches so far?
Yeah, I've been flicking on and off between that and obviously the stuff we've been doing to do
Yeah.
the team draft. But
What have you made of the match so far?
the first map, it looked quite even to start with. To be fair, I thought LAGr might take it just because to start with. Is it the team called Clowns?
Yeah, it's Clown. I think they've recently renamed from Panda.
Yeah, well, Panda or Clown. They're
Cool. Both teams are saying they're ready to go. So. Oh no, they're now saying wait.
Okay. Yeah, Clown seemed a bit chaotic to start with on their attacks. They kept getting on top of each other.
Yeah.
But then, when it switched over, LAGr and LAGr were the exact same, to be fair. And I think...
I was quite surprised, I gotta say. Clown looked like they were wasting a lot of time on their roam clear. So
Yeah.
I didn't think that they were that confident coming in, but having seen them on defense, I think they had some... they've got some decent gun skill. I don't think gun skill is their issue. I think it's coordination on attack for both teams.
I think the problem is for defending it's a lot easier to run through strats and play it, whereas on attack you're a lot more dependent on your teamwork and whoever's your IGL's capabilities. And if they don't have the strongest IGL, that can sometimes make their attacks a bit weak and a bit chaotic, so they're not sure what to do and they're not doing the right things.
Yeah, I agree. And
I
don't know particularly much about Clown. Do you know if they are a relatively new team?
I don't know Trey or now. There's a few teams I know about. Obviously, like you've got LAGr, you've got your Animal, you've got like Vayne, but don't know too much about Clown. So
just waiting for the go ahead from both teams here, as I think Pugnoy is a chain smoker.
that's fine.
So he's outside trying to calm himself down ahead of this final match.
Yeah. What I did realise, in my opinion, from Cafe to Club is Club's one of those maps. Even though it is still strategic based, it is one of those maps where it's a lot easier to play more frag heavy.
I do agree. Having watched quite a lot of Cafe and Club, I think a lot of people know where people sit on Club, so they are more confident taking the frags at the end. But I've just got to go ahead from Street, so I'm going to start the final map, which is Villa here. So, have you got the stream open with you at the moment?
Yeah, I do, yes.
I think you'll probably have about a 7-second delay.
About 5 to 7 seconds.
Yeah, so the bans are just coming in now. It is... it's Clown to do the first ban, as they are on the defense.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that both teams don't come back now and say that they weren't ready, but I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Ooh, we've seen a Thermite ban come out from Clown, so we haven't seen any Thermite bans so far. We've seen Thatcher, we've seen Monty taken out both times.
Yeah, I think the Thermite ban...
Oh, I'm going to have to rehost here, as I thought I changed the settings, but I got them wrong somehow. I'm sure I checked that before I went back in, but I think I must have it must have swapped it over without me realizing between. So that Thermite ban is not in place. It does not have to be stuck. They can choose to go for something else now if they want to.
I feel like they might stick it. They might not, but it is. You would expect, in my opinion, possibly a hard breacher ban on Villa, just because of how much every bomb site near enough is dependent on hard breachers, especially. lot more of the push master that they have the hard breacher, but a lot of teams do that. So I think the hard breacher ban is quite orthodox.
I agree, and having watched Cafe, Pugnoid did go on the Maverick, but he was not having very much use in terms of he wasn't often making it to the walls. So potentially, I wonder if Clown are reading into that and wondering if LAGr will be uncomfortable without a thermite. We'll see if they go for the Maverick or Hibana instead.
I think Hibana and Maverick are still, if the thermite is banned, is still a good combination to have. Still good two hard breachers. Obviously, from next season there'll be another hard breacher and play with Ace. Obviously, that's still quite a while away yet, but I think that will limit the hard breacher bans that do come out.
I was just about to say that I do think thermite bans will be significantly reduced once Ace comes in. I'm just going to go into game chat and just check with both teams that we're ready to go. I'll be back in 1 moment. Hello.
Hey.
Is everyone still good to go?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Blue
Oh,
is starting
it's
an
alright,
attack now, so I'm gonna get going.
Yep.
So good luck, guys. Have fun.
Perfect.
Yeah. Alright, thanks man.
You two boys.
Good luck.
Somebody has already left. We have gone back in. The sides were correct, but somebody on the side of Clown has already left, so it's 4v5 at the moment. Omega got booted out for some reason.
I'm guessing they'd carry on doing bans and either rehost afterwards, or he might have joined back.
Most likely they'll try to join back. Yeah, so we'll see the ban phase out because we can most likely rehost with the bans in. So it is a Jackal ban for LAGr.
I mean, it is sort of expected. You know, Villa's quite a big map. It's got quite a few different places where you can roam. You've got the complete bottom floor, you've got basement, you've got middle floor, anywhere from dining, kitchen. So it does have a lot of potential with the hatch drops and the 3 staircases. So maybe wanting to be able to roam is a good idea.
We have also seen the thermite ban stuck again, so this could be quite interesting. In particular, if they are running the Maverick and they don't have the Jackal available, any roamers downstairs like Pulse and Valkyrie could get away with quite a lot of damage if they are able to catch any C4s.
Yeah, do you think one thing is that the Thatcher is in play, so maybe a Hibana Thatcher combination might be run?
We are going for another rehost here, as unfortunately Omega isn't able to join back. So, 3rd time lucky for Villa. It was 3rd time lucky on Clubhouse as well, as I messed up the bans. It's really annoying. I heard the noise of him leaving as I started the match, so I knew this was going to happen, but... we do have the sad news to break today that unfortunately Llama has been eaten by another animal.
Who?
Llama. He's been removed from the animal roster due to being eaten. What are you proposing me a trade for already in our draft? We've only just started and you're already trying to swap the players around.
I've tried to do it with everyone. I've offered Liv one, he declined it. I offered him P4, he offered me I offered him a P4 and I wanted Grid, but he declined it. Then he offered me, who did he offer me then? He offered me somebody stupid from his lineup. Let me see what his team is. He offered me somebody stupid from his team. That's not his team. He offered me Virtue for Leon Goots. Obviously I'm going to decline because Virtue's playing Flex or G2 and it hasn't been amazing. So, and then I declined him. So I've tried to offer Rudy a trade. I've offered him P4 but I want Rise. And I've offered you a trade. I've offered you P4 but I want Karzeka.
Ooh. See, I went for Karzeka because towards the end of picking those drafts, it started becoming not so much who I wanted, but who was left to get. So...
Yeah, but that's the problem. The problem is as well, the last one I had, there's like I thought Rips and people were still up, but like when it was going towards, it was still like Voice, Vips, Always.
Yeah, I noticed towards the end of the NA draft that we've been doing, there was a lot of the Tempo Storm players left up. All of whom had been kind of ignored, and even though some of them had decent ratings.
There was Tempo Storm and Sonics weren't there that we left quite a lot of. like the only Sonic squad that I saw actually get picked was the Iconic, which was very last second pick.
Did Super not get picked up in our draft?
Yeah, Liv picked Super early
okay.
on, look at the one before, but like he was the only one that was picked up. I mean, Slevin and Gompley was picked up, to be fair. But they were more picked up. A lot of Tempo wasn't picked, which I was surprised about.
I was surprised to see Alpha Armor get picked up by Lev so quickly, but...
But I was going to pick Alpha Armor toward, like, if he wasn't picked by like probably the 5th pick, I was going to get him before 4th. Just because he did do well. Yeah. I mean, I went for that sloppy guy. Because I just thought he could be a wild card. He's just coming to... Oh, what team is it?
I'm just going to go back to game chat, just check with both teams now. I will be back in a moment. Hello, guys.
Come off it. Let's go.
Joe, Amelia is ready to play now. If you wanna.
All right.
Guys, do you want me to put the band in, or do you want me to?
Swap me out now then.
No, because
we'll just redo all the bands. Yeah, we'll redo everything.
Okay, Amiga's gone.
Are they allowed a sub? We already started.
Technically, they are allowed one. They're actually allowed 3.
What's happening with Amiga?
Are you actually?
Is he getting subbed out?
You can have 3 subs in a best of 3. Well, that's our rules anyway.
What deal?
I'm subbing out.
I feel like the team would ever do that.
Bye, Cryo. We don't need you anyways.
Yeah, we don't have anyone else.
Rex is gonna get all our kills.
Cryo, do you wanna come out?
Hey, watch me this game.
I'll tell you what.
That's fine.
Come on then.
What, you want me to sub into
That's how you want to play. Alright then. Alright then.
Okay.
You stay over there, mate. I've got sleep here. Mr. Crawl on the floor everywhere.
Yeah, Mr. Snake.
Who was that thermite that was lying down in stock?
Probably Pro, yeah.
I got you so low.
My entry.
Yeah, literally.
And then I literally turned the corner, I just saw you off skull, and I was like, oh. Because I was aimed at that crouch head height.
Prone. Always gets him.
To be fair,
Omega
got really unlucky.
Oh, you're actually making a sub. Okay.
Go as soon as, boys.
You good to start now?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I'm gonna start.
Ready.
Have fun, guys.
Okay. Hopefully I don't see you before you...
Okay, so we are going in again, but LAGr have the same team, and Clown have actually made a sub. So they've dropped out Omega and they brought in Amen. But we are starting, this time, with all 10 players in the lobby. Clown are actually on the attack, which is correct, and I think it's 4th time lucky this time, but we are into Villa.
I'm expecting the same bands as we saw, Jackal and Thermite, just because you would expect them to be locked once I've done them, but yeah, the Jackal band's a good one. Stops a lot of roam clear potential maybe, and I'm thinking, especially with LAGr banning that, you saw how long it took Clown to roam clear, like you said, on Clubhouse, on Cafe.
Yeah,
so maybe stopping them bringing that Jackal will slow them with their roam clear again. And obviously with Villa being quite a big map, quite different ways you can hold bomb sites. You can have people like very bottom floor in the basement and stuff. It just offers a bit more.
The only surprise to me about it is the fact that LAGr were the ones running Jackal more often. So I didn't particularly see much Jackal played by Clown in the first couple of matches. They were running more of kind of the Ash Sophia, but then they were throwing in things like Capital on Clubhouse, which was quite interesting. But we have seen the last 2 bans, so it was the Jackal and Thermite, which were stuck by both teams. They have to then banned out the Mirror and the Valkyrie, so we have got Echo and Maestro both in play for the defenders.
Yeah, I mean, the Mirror band's expected to an extent on Villa. I mean, she's strong on Aviator, she's got a few different potential places you can maybe do her for trophy, depending on like an extended hold and for dining kitchen. But her main bomb site's Aviator, and with Aviator being such a strong site, taking her out makes it a little bit more possible to attack it.
Definitely, and I do agree that she's strong on both sides. I think it's quite weird with Villa though, because you tend to reinforce off the study walls and the bedroom walls to make sure the attackers can't come in. So in order to leave a soft wall next to your mirror, you do expose your site a little bit. So mirror doesn't necessarily act as strong on Villa as maybe something like Coastline, where she can literally put mirrors in between the sites to allow C4s to be chucked over. But yeah, I do agree, she's definitely a powerful operator to be removed here. And LAGr running the Maestro with impacts, doubling up on the Bandit and Mute combination. And the attackers here, I just said about how they were running more kind of traditional Ash Sophia lineup, so they've actually gone for a Gridlock and a Monty with a Nomad. So completely kind of throwing off what they've been showing so far. It'd be interesting to see that the double flank watch is really interesting to me. I'm wondering if that's a reaction to the Jackal ban.
10 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, it might well be. It might just be the Nomad's what they wanted to run initially, and the Gridlock just offers them a few smokes to go for the plant with the Monty in play. So they might just offer them a bit more coverage for trying to go for the plant. But
the only, I think the real surprise to me is no Thatcher. So they aren't running the Maverick. Oh, we do see the opening pick there. I think it was from Vulcan taking out the Habana. So I just mentioned about them not running a Maverick, and now they have no hard breach at all, which some teams have done on Villa, but obviously not with a man advantage. Freda here, as for Monty, is going to have a lot of work to try and push into these site doorways.
Yeah, Sloppy spawning out there on his own on the west side. He got caught out with the rest of his team pulling on ruins. Maybe he just didn't shoot to what's for.
Eamon doing a good job of taking out that Evil Eye from below, so no protection on it from a... We've got Jaeger Wamai, and there's no utility placed next to the Evil Eye to protect it, which is a bit of a shame. But Gridlock showing the power of her kit here. She goes below the Wamai and uses her shotgun to get some angles up on him. Very nice use of the Gridlock, who peeks up to the Wamai with her track stingers in hand, which is almost a bit of a misplay, but Freda on the Monty, making the Wamai back off into the bar, and track stingers going down in the bar, distracting both defenders, and Freda's in a good position to threaten the defenders to force back into sight. But at the moment the attack is still not able to equal up their manpower. First air jab going off, I think that was over by 90. Not punished at all. The defenders getting away with just being able to roam around still here, and we've still got a couple of C4s on the board, but they're not in the correct positions. They're not below at the moment. So as I say, that Bandit gets taken out, it's just Vulcan roaming below, and he's going to have a tough time flanking up these staircases with all of the air jabs and track stingers in play. So the utility potentially cutting his style of play out. I'm a little bit sad to see Pugnoy, who's got the C4. He's playing in sight rather than below. I feel like the C4 below could have done quite a lot of harm to the attackers, who have just marched the Monty into this bar where the defense made a rotate. And now Monty's just calling out everything that's going on below and just smoking off in the middle of plant. Does see the Mute walking around by the bar. Actually ADSing, trying to get the gunfight with this Mute, and the remaining two attackers able to do some damage here as they kill the guy in Vault. Freda gets the Mute, and just like that, the first round going across the cloud.
Yeah, I'm surprised with the way LAGr set up there. You know, you saw the bottom floor kind of roam clear come out by Clown, but they had Vulcan and Bandit below, the Jaeger and Bandit, but like you said, Mute kept on site, and then the way they pushed that there, I'm surprised they didn't have somebody try to play a bit more aggressive on 90 to try and challenge it, because you had the Monty there with quite a few people trying to stack up behind him, and obviously they pushed the study door as well, so maybe having a few more people to hold the angles by like 90 and landing, because they didn't roam clear from the opposite side at all, so they could have easily have held a bit more the opposite side outside of the site and try to play aggressive on the longer angles.
Definitely, I agree, and I'm also quite impressed with Clown's ability there to pull off an attack using just the Monty. LAGr offering a rotate into the bar,
Attackers
which,
need to locate and
despite
defuse as many
Vulcan
bombs
getting
as
the
they
opening
can.
pick onto the Hibana, it kind of came back to hurt them towards the end of the round.
You can stop worrying about Brittany.
Yeah, I agree. Well, one thing I want to point out is that there was still a reinforcement in pocket for Street. So possibly, if they knew that Hibana was killed by Vulcan, which would expect to have been called out that he did kill the Hibana, they could have possibly reinforced that rotate up. And even though, again, it would have gone against their strat, it would have just made it so much harder for the attackers to walk into sight, only having 3 doorways to do so.
10 seconds
There's been a
remaining.
little bit of an adaptation here from LAGr, who have closed off that bar rotate. They've whacked a mute jammer next to it as well, which I think is more to stop droning than to protect the wall. But again, we haven't seen them put any utility next to this Evil Eye, so this Evil Eye could get taken out fairly quickly from below again. Vulcan has changed his roam. He's going over towards the trophy side this time. It does look like he's going for a spawn peak. The attackers here obviously hoping not to lose their Hibana within the first 30 seconds of a round. Hibana potentially going a little bit more careful from spawn, just trying to get towards this 90 window, and I'm not sure if it does look like the defenders don't have anyone playing 90, so Hibana is able to do this safely, but there's no Thatcher on the board again, so this mute jammer on the vault wall is going to stop her from doing anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what they're setting up for, because they've got Hibana on the 90, which looks like they're going to go for Vault, but they do have sort of control and main stairs control.
I'm wondering if they were expecting the rotate to be open again, as the Monty did walk straight back up the main stairs. The default left up by Clown, despite having gone all the way up main, so a little bit sloppy from them, but they've got the IQ in below, and I mentioned about them not bringing the Thatcher. This is a fairly decent way of working around it, as the Nomad gets the first kill here onto Rexroy, which is the Bandit, and again, the Bandit and the Jaeger are the ones who are roaming. They chose to go kind of over to the trophy side this time instead of roam below, which I think for Vulcan makes a lot of sense, because obviously we saw how much flank utility was put down to deny him main stairs access. But for Rexroy, again, we don't have any C4s below for LAGr, and they're just kind of sat in sight, staring at this Monty, who is just going to be able to do some damage, kind of walking through these side doorways. As I say that, the IQ has taken the mute jammer off of the vault wall, and the Hibana has opened some angles looking into it. Unfortunately, the Hibana pellet's not placed close enough together, and there's a line across the wall which is going to stop her from walking in. It looks like Clown here just trying to go for a cheeky plant behind the Monty, as Vulcan does get a kill onto the IQ of Raisin. Monty just kind of staring at this Maestro, probably trying to call her out for the Hibana, who is just kind of relying on the ping through the wall to try and challenge the Maestro, but isn't able to get the kill. And the Monty completely distracted by... Sorry, the Maestro completely distracted by the Monty, as Sleepy has just gone through sight and just made plays, and the plant's coming down here from a Nomad, not in the default plant, which I think is probably why she's able to get it. We did see one C4 kill below, and Street levels it out into 2v2. Sleepy just walking around with his bearing 9, just trying to stay safe for now. Sleepy's reloading the Type 89. And the attackers, unfortunately, seem to have gone too far away from the diffuser, and just like that, Vulcan and Street retake, and a sloppy post plant there coming out for Clown.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely. They had a diffuser down, they had the control. Obviously, the Nitro killed the Monty, which was a bit lucky because it looked like they were trying to get... It looks like they can't find a diffuser. They have found it now.
Yeah, they were definitely looking around Ben trying to find the diffuser. I mentioned about it being off the default plant spot, and I think the C4 which came out actually killed Vermonti on the default plant spot. So,
yeah. So it was a bit of a lucky Nitro, but yeah, the post plant wasn't the best there. I would have possibly looked, especially where the diffuser was. They possibly could have tried to put one outside in study balcony, one towards landing master bedroom, because the door was close left to the aviator door closest to landing, so maybe a crossfire, but then having being a bit split would have caused a bit of problems for LAGr, but just not the right positioning there. Obviously, I think taking their Monty down with a lucky Nitro did help them definitely win that round.
I agree. I think if Monty had been alive in that post plant, it would have been extremely difficult for LAGR to retake that. With that said, they didn't look particularly confident on AV. They obviously lost it the first time around and they won it through a retake on the second. They've gone straight across the kitchen here for the next round. They're choosing not to go trophy
Attackers need
statue.
to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Yeah, I don't think they're probably not that confident in trophy statue. It might just be with the lineup that Clown is running. They might feel that their dining kitchen strat is the best way of possibly slowing them down or countering them. Obviously, those last 2 rounds as well, Vex did die very early on. Both times he looked like he was trying to push up and do an early flank, which didn't work out. So I'm hoping with the lineup we've got now, looks like Vulcan will be roaming again. Maybe not with Vex, but maybe not. But I'm hoping that he doesn't try to rotate too early.
We did see the
5 seconds left.
I think we saw the Vigil 6 picked off to Elysian. So probably a reaction there to the Monty. Obviously kind of similar utility in terms of the impacts and obviously the guns. But obviously dropping the Vigil, who's going to be able to run around, obviously not get spotted by drones, in favour of taking Guru Mines to slow down the Monty push. I think what could be so crucial about dining kitchen is obviously the Monty either has a choice of going straight in through the pantry or laundry, both of which are relatively narrow, which Monty can excel in, but if he tries to go for the roam clear, he's going to be extremely vulnerable to Pag on this pulse. And if Pag can land a good C4 on any of these attackers, he could flip around in the favour of LAGR.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I would have maybe liked the adaptation for maybe like an Echo as well to come out. That obviously, when Monty's trying to push aggressive, that does slow him down and does maybe cause a bit of loss of confidence, being able to have to fully extend again. It does leave him exposed.
The Monty here was straight outside of the pantry angle, and there was actually a tiny moment there where he had an angle onto the mute, who was on his camera, seemingly unaware that the pantry wall had 2 of the Habana pellets set off. It does seem to be that Cloud doing a little bit of a split push, which is surprising because I don't associate many teams at this level as doing split pushes, but I think this is why. So there's 3 of them clearing out the top floor, and Vulcan's been able to get this opening pick. I think it's just what happens when you split up your droning and you split up your entry fraggers. You take the Monty away from the fraggers, and they don't have anybody there supporting them, and they lose the opening pick as a result of that. And it's a minute and a half gone, and they've only really got control of the top floor. Sleepy does get the pick onto mute, so Sleepy and Freda here just now kind of relocating around, trying to make the most out of the messy kind of first 2 minutes of this round.
Yeah, I would have liked the attackers to have the bedroom, now moved off landing and trophy double door, and then would have left them a bit more safe trying to maybe open up above or doing the push they wanted to, but they did walk quite straight into the Jaeger, and they've been pushed out by the Monty.
It's quite interesting, we're seeing, I think Pugnoy got air jabbed at one point, he's backed off, and now Vulcan has been caught upstairs on his own, and he gets taken out by the Zofia, who, they set up quite a nice pinch on him. I think, what I've seen so far is that the attack of Clown here definitely have the potential to do the roam clear, that they've cost themselves by splitting up at the start of a round, and now they're trying to make do as Habana wastes her pellets on the wrong angles. And they're going to have to try and probably force a Monty plant here in the last 15 seconds, as the Monty unfortunately does walk straight into a goo mine. We were talking earlier about how the Vigil got 6 picked off. That crucial moment could deny them the plant. Monty's going to have to get aggressive here. Melee's the castle, gets the interim castle, confirmed for kill. 4v2 on site as they actually look like they're going to be able to get this plant down, and there's a lot of pressure on Pugnoy here, who gets taken out. And out of nowhere, Clown take the round.
Yeah, it was a very sloppy roam clear to start with. I think what I've seen quite a lot of times in the last 2 months on this one as well was the roam seems to be working to an extent by LAGr, but they're ending up leaving Vulcan on his own, which just leaves him so vulnerable to getting pinched. And this Monty does look like he's the main drone for them. I haven't seen Clown drone too aggressively too much, but they're mainly using Monty to face check, and once they know where Jaeger is and they can see he's on his own, they just go to pinch him like they did there with one person from study, one person trophy double door, and the Monty on top of him on 90.
So I said at the start of Clubhouse, so on Cafe, I think it was, I can't remember which way round it was. I think LAGR banned Monty on one map, and then Clown banned him on the other. So going into this map, I thought neither team had a comfortable Monty player. I wonder if Clown have just had a conversation and said, actually, we are comfortable running this Monty. If we ban out a hard breacher, we can just kind of Monty our way through the sites, use the Monty just to force our way in, and kind of put LAGR in an uncomfortable position where I agree with what you mentioned. Vulcan's solo roaming quite a lot, and he's struggling against the Monty pushes.
Yeah, they definitely need to, maybe if it's put more utility around, and I mean the one way they could do it, like I said, is maybe they've got the Maestro, and the plus they are using him for impact tricking, but they could usually use the Legion impact, maybe they take the Maestro into an Echo. I know he was being run, but playing aggressive on the Echo drone, possibly with Vulcan's roam, obviously if he's getting pushed hard by the Monty like he did last time, that timed Echo stun could really help Vulcan to kill the Monty, or really do some damage to him, so he's easy to kill later on.
Definitely, and you mentioned a moment ago about the impact trick. Echo now actually has impact instead of a shield, so they wouldn't necessarily need to change their positioning around. They could just directly swap the Maestro out for an Echo. Obviously, it does depend a little bit in terms of whether or not they can keep the man advantage. That last round, the Monty was planting on 0-0, but in a 4-1 situation, the Echo most likely wouldn't be able to get on his cam. So I think they do need to do a little bit of work in terms of just surviving. LAGR have got the potential to make a comeback here, but they've got off to a bad start on their defences.
Yeah, I think they're very indecisive whether they want to roam or anchor, and it ended up leaving the one person roaming, like I've said multiple times, with Vulcan, and telling the second roamer to come back to help on site, and just causing a lot more problems for them later on in the round.
I know LAGR from scrims and kind of speaking to him, and I know Vulcan's playstyle is quite a deep roamer. He definitely likes getting very far away from site, flanking people, getting their attention, and they're kind of wasting their time. It doesn't seem to me like LAGR have adapted to his playstyle. He is relatively new to the team, and as I say that, he gets taken out solo roaming again downstairs. LAGR, I think, need to work there. Either need to pull him back and kind of get him to play closer to the rest of the team, or they need to send someone to help him. And at the moment, they seem to be getting caught in between the two. And Vulcan, although he's on 4 and 3, he's not staying alive long enough to help out towards the end.
Yeah, well, what I don't get with this is you saw that he was roaming below, but there's no nitros. I mean, Bandit's running the nitro, but Bandit will more likely be Bandit chicken or playing on site. But they have nothing to really challenge from below. The attackers aren't running anything to challenge them either. Like, they've got the Zofia, but they're not running a buff or anyone that can really do and open the floor a lot from below. So I think that roaming below isn't benefiting at all. We could have maybe had a duo roam with somebody else over by Aviator.
I agree, and as you say that, we have got the Monty trying to push into the side door. The Bandit, as you said, was probably most likely Bandit tricking this wall to start with. He's actually managed to get the kill, downing the Monty, and actually finishing off the Monty and the Nomad here. So the Bandit having a very good round. Pugnoy on a double kill so far. I think someone actually stole his kill on the Nomad, and Rexroy finishes off the Habana as Sleepy as Eamon finishes off the Bandit, but gets injured straight away, traded off with smoke, and LAGR have pulled us back to 2-2, so they were more comfortable on Trophy than Kitchen. I wonder if they regret going to Kitchen now. But yeah, I agree. The solo roam from Vulcan didn't work out, but that time LAGR actually having the gun skill in sight to be able to survive the Monty push.
Yeah, I think the one thing as well there that really helped them with the Monty push is that Monty actually dropped the shield and tried to ADS and take the gunfight with the Bandit, instead of just looking to possibly smoke off Trophy, throw a smoke quite near, and leave the Bandit in the corner quite isolated, with his teammates not being able to do anything other than blind fly through smoke grenades, and you could have possibly pushed them for the knife kill or with the number to get the kill quite easily, but he just exposed himself trying to take the gunfight with a pistol against the Bandit.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a misplay from him, Freda playing the Monty, but having watched both of these first two maps on Cafe and Clubhouse, what has stood out to me is we've gone for a cycle of the most defender-sided maps in the pool. So we've gone from, I suppose we haven't played Theme Park at all, but we've played Cafe, Clubhouse and Villa, all of which have about a 55% defender win rate. And you can normally see in the first two maps, both teams, so particularly LAGr on Cafe and then also Clown onto Clubhouse, both looked uncomfortable on the attack, and that tended to actually decide which team went on to win. From what we've seen here so far, Clown look comfortable on the attack of Villa, which is a good sign for them. They've got 2 rounds on the board already. I wouldn't put it past them getting at least 1 more, and I wouldn't be surprised if they could take 2 more rounds of attack here, which would completely flip the map on its head. LAG are under a lot of pressure in these next couple of rounds to see out a good half.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I do really think that the adaptation needs to come out for them to make sure, especially on this bomb site now, that Rexroy doesn't rotate too early on, because he has tried to rotate and flank way too early. Possibly if he leaves it to the last 40 seconds, the attackers are going to be a lot more focused on their execution, so they do go for the main stairs push again, which it does look like. With again Vulcan as well, he needs to either stay with Rexroy and have a duo zone, or just, yeah, they definitely need to have somebody with him.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as you say that, we do see Vulcan all the way over by China at the moment, seeming to just kind of leave his team alone to hold down the site. And he's completely off. He's completely off the spectrum at the moment, as Rexroy is kind of nearby him, I suppose. Rexroy's playing over by this red stairs, and the C4 which he's got would be really powerful if he goes below. I'm just from what I've seen so far, Eamon's doing a pretty good job of getting rid of these Evil Eyes, so they're potentially not going to have the intel to be able to get these sort of C4 kills towards the end.
Yeah, what I don't get is every round he's used his ability, used her destruction to get rid of the monsters and these guys, and I'm not sure why, especially with the lineup that was being run by the defenders, they're not investing some sort of ADS into it. Like you saw there, an ADS and main stairs that they gave way too easily. Could have been invested onto 90 or even in study, hidden underneath the desk or something, to try and stop them being able to get the evil eyes easily.
I do think it's a bit of a misconception of the PS4 community. A lot of teams run the Maestro and they run shields, but they don't put the ADSs on the Maestro next to them. They leave the ADSs in sight. And there are times where you need to do that, of course, but it makes it so that the utility is kind of split up. And we're kind of seeing that now as the evil eyes have been removed so early on in the game. With that said, Rexroy gets the opening kill onto Havana, and actually Vulcan, roaming very deep, takes out the Nomad, but does get traded off with IQ, so it's a pretty good connection here from Cloud. But as I say that, the Monty gets meleeed and taken out by Rexroy here. I think it wasn't a melee, sorry, I think he just hit him and then knifed him. It's just raising here, in a 1v4 as Rexroy takes out Eamon on the Zofia, so IQ in a bit of a tricky situation with 30 seconds left to go or so on the board.
Yeah, like you saw there, that round was a lot better in my opinion from LAGr. Even though Vulcan was still quite on his own independent, he was on bottom red there, and you had Rexroy playing for landing, so if Vulcan did get pushed by the Monty, or if they did look to clear him out, Rexroy was in a position to a lot closer to be able to rotate and possibly get the trade or help Vulcan, which is a lot better from them.
Yeah, definitely, and I think the just having that extra guy off-site makes it so much harder for Clown, who in their defense, Clown did actually manage to get the trade on to Vulcan, so they did well to make sure they didn't lose both players to him. But obviously they allowed, I think it was Rexroy on the Bandit last round, to get that kill independently without being traded off. And from that point onwards, the man disadvantage really harmed them. And I got to say, LAGR's anchors have been doing a really good job of kind of picking up the slack from where the deep roaming has been leaving them to kind of face the Monty directly. We do see them go back to Diner Kitchen here, so crucial last round of their defense here, as I think this could define the game in terms of whether or not they come out from a positive defensive half or if they just go neutral.
Yeah. One thing I have realised quite early on here is that Clown like to stick to the same, by the looks of it, attacking every round. You saw there the 3 times with the movement on the Aviator, every single time to get study and main stairs control and look to push that direction. That last round they had to put a bit more towards 90, which they didn't seem like they could do properly and clear out properly, which is the reason I lost. But they do look like they like to do the same kind of execution. So with that being said, I would expect to see here some sort of utility looking towards where the attackers tried to push last time, which was obviously a
Attackers'
bit more
objective is
towards
to
the
defuse
top
a bomb.
floor to start with. They did do a good job of slowing down the rem clear, but they do need to put, I think, a utility to start to push the attackers like to do.
It's a bit of an awkward decision for the attackers here, because in the first time attacking kitchen, we saw them take the Monty downstairs, and it didn't have very much effect. So I would be inclined to go straight for the top floor. There's no reinforcements on the bedroom wall, the hatches aren't reinforced. There's a lot of potential for them to make use of that. The issue is, they're not running very much soft breach. They've only got the breaching charges from the IQ, and they've also got this pulse to worry about the entire time. So it's a bit of a catch-22 where I think the weakest part of the strat is definitely the vertical. But if a pulse can get a crucial kill here, if it takes a Monty off the board, for example, it could swing around one way or the other.
Yeah, I think a lot of the way they're holding it with the anchors for the aviators, the anchors, is that their weakness is the vertical play that they could be counted on with opening above or if it's a book below, but the attack anyone like Sledge or Book who can open the floor a lot more than what Zofia and Ash can do with the utility they have available.
But he seems to have got the attacker's attention upstairs, who they've been walking around, they've been droning him, they've been using Monty to try and find him. He's managed to escape down to the main entrance. He has completely got away from the roam clear here, and he's just kind of hiding in the main entrance. He's got that nice angle peeking out from Art Studio across towards the laundry door, and I just wonder if he might be better off getting back closer to site and playing a little bit closer to his team. But as a solo roamer, he's done a good job of just wasting about a minute of this round.
Yeah, I mean, I'd maybe like to see maybe try and go towards more living room, especially with the way the attackers tried to push that camera through Memorial, but...
As you say that, he is actually flanking through library now into living room, so he's definitely in a position to deny the China corridor if the attackers try and make use of that, but Monty has come straight in through the bike room into Memorial, and this, the smoke in Memorial was trying to use his canisters to force Monty out, but the Havana breach forces the smoke to get back into sight. And once again, Monty getting caught in all of his utility, but just being able to force his way through it. As Eamon gets the opening pick onto Rexroad, there's only 30 seconds left, and we've only seen the first pick, but Vulcan gets a kill onto Eamon, trading it off, making use of the living room like you were talking about. Hag gets the next kill, leaving Raisin, Freda, and Envy to try and clutch this up. 3 versus 4 with only 15 seconds left on the board. It's not looking particularly good for the attackers, but they have managed to get into sight. And Monty, once again, trying this kind of really shallow plant in the dining room. Only got one person covering him, and he gets injured from a shotgun, and the plant doesn't go down, and yeah, we see a positive half come out for LAGr.
Run out of time.
Yeah, like you saw, they adapted quite a bit to the attackers again tried to push their way through Memorial. This time, obviously, they're but like you said, Vulcan rotated quite quickly through living room and it was able to get a flank onto the attackers.
We are unfortunately going for another rehost here, so it's been a day full of rehosts for us so far. But that gives us a nice breather in some ways to talk about that that half of Villa, because I think we saw Clown get off to quite a good start. They definitely looked convincing in their first couple of attacks, putting themselves into a 2-1 advantage. From that point onwards, they then proceeded to give up their advantage and go back down to a 4-2. And I think that could be quite an important swing in terms of the flow of this map.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they definitely started off well bringing the Monty, but like you saw that they were 2-0 up straight away. And as soon as in my opinion, it went to 2-2, then maybe we should have looked to maybe swap the Monty out, but they tried to keep ringing it. I think they relied on the Monty quite a bit with their zone clear. And with that, LAGr was able to bring a bit more utility, like the Legion, to try and slow it down, which just slowed the whole attack down. Which, like you saw quite a few times when it came to their pushes, they had not enough time to do the executions properly.
I've unfortunately started a lobby as a player because I'm a moron, so we're going to have to wait 5 minutes here because I'm not able to start as a spectator now.
That's all the time to talk.
Yeah, so we've got quite a lot to digest because of course you've tuned in for the final map, and I think we've seen a good series here. I've got to say, I think both teams are definitely on par with each other in gun skill. What's your prediction now that we swap sides on Villa? Because for me, I still feel like this could go either way.
I mean, for me personally, looking through, it's really hard to tell. I will probably have to lean towards Clown just for the moment, just because the way LAGr were on Cafe attacking, and then on the clubhouse, like you said, and like we saw, they were quite reliant to an extent on the Jackal to help them roam clear and get control quite quickly. So with them banning the Jackal out themselves, they might be used to attacking without the Jackal here, so I could be very wrong, but it just looks like they have struggled today, especially with us being on defender side of maps, to get through their attacks and have the attacks coordinated well enough.
I do agree. I think you've raised a very good point as well, that although they are sitting on a 4-2 advantage coming out of that half, they have already lost Cathay 7-4 from having been 4-2 up. So they have shown their potential to be unable to attack a map entirely. So although they've got 4 rounds on the board, it doesn't necessarily mean that much of an advantage with how Villa can play out.
Yeah, I totally agree. I just especially think they need to bring the right lineup for the way they want to play, as well as the lineup the defenders are bringing. Like you said, how Vulcan likes to do a deep roam on defense. I don't know him too well, but he looks like he's one of those who might want to try and take gunfights, especially with him spawn peeking the first 2 rounds. It looks like he does like gunfights.
I know Vulcan pretty well. I know that he deep roams a lot on defense, and sometimes I think he does it too much. I think he separates himself from the other 4 defenders, and although he can win some gunfights, he gets traded off quite heavily. But what I would say is that when he goes onto entry, it puts a completely different perspective on it, because he then has people droning for him, and I think he's definitely got the potential to play the entry fragger role better than the deep roamer role. But we saw him on the Jackal on Cafe, and it just looked like they were lacking utility the entire way through. They were just walking after shields, evil eyes, and bulletproof cams, and just stalling. The Jackal ban might help them in terms of they're going to force Vulcan now to play an Ashe Sophia role instead of being stuck on the Jackal.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I just think they, like you said and like you saw on Cafe, it does look like they have the better guns out of the 2 teams. So maybe forcing themselves to an extent to be a bit more frag orientated with an Ashe and Zofia, or Ashe or Zofia, or even both, instead of going more utility like the Jackal to try and roam clear with the smokes. They're forcing themselves to try and play a bit more aggressive, take gunfights, and they might even try to go for a bit more of a direct approach onto site.
Yeah, I can definitely see that working out in their favour. And also, the question to me, I suppose, is who's going to step up alongside Vulcan and get the kills. And from what I've seen, from what I know about LAGr, Street is definitely the player who can do so. Street is the player who has the gun skill to get the kills and attack. He excels on Buck on Coastline. I've seen him do a lot of work on that. If they put him onto a Buck on Villa, and they do pushes kind of up the main stairs and utilise a Buck to get the utility from below, I think they could definitely work out a kind of Ashe Sophia and then a Buck lineup. I think that could definitely work out for them. My question is how are they going to react to the Thermite ban? Because that's going to be the crucial aspect of this final half of Villa, is whether or not they can make do with just Hibana or Maverick.
Yeah, I agree. Like you saw with Clown attacking first, they ran Hibana and they ran a hard reacher, but they didn't run a Thatcher, and I do really think that LAGr need to run the Thatcher, just because you saw how they've bought a Bandit and a Mute, or Bandit or Mute, and it just caused so many problems being able to open up the walls.
Yeah.
They obviously had the IQ who did go below, but it is so hard to have an IQ. Obviously, for the IQ to go below, you've got to clear the whole floor. You've then got to invest in nomads, and so it is possible, but it just take a lot more time compared to just being able to drone and clear, study, and maybe art gallery to make sure nobody's playing the immediate. Efficient, in my opinion.
Can you remember what the band operators were? So it was Jackal with Thermite, It was Mirror Balcony, wasn't it?
Mirror Valkyrie.
Yeah. I mean, I've just got to put him around history. Luckily, I don't need to worry too much about how many wins there were. I just need to... Sorry, I need to worry about how many wins there were, not how many objectives were played.
Yeah.
So orange 1-4, and then blue 1-2.
I do think LAGr, in my opinion, the lineup that we're looking to run is the Hibana Thatcher, the Astral Zephyr for Vulcan. They definitely need some sort of flank denial in the Nomad. And your left operator's quite optional. Obviously, it depends on the way they want to push. If they're going for a roam clear, they might look to bring... Maybe it could be a Zephyr sledge book, like you said, just to offer more soft destruction, the possibility of nades or flashbangs and stuff. Or they might want to bring somebody like the Gridlock or somebody who offers smokes and can help them with a lot more execution.
Yeah, and I do wonder what approach LAGr are going to take here. Are they going to go for the direct kind of Ash Sophia IQ approach of just pure frag? Or are they going to throw in a Nomad? Are they going to throw in a Thatcher? Obviously there's room to do so. There's a fourth spot which they can kind of throw in before needing the hard breaches of a fifth, but it's that third spot. Are they going to run double kind of Ash Sophia, or are they going to go for something else? Are they going to go for a Nomad? I don't know what's going to work out best here, because I think Clown has surprised me a little bit coming into Villa. I didn't think that they would bust out the Monty. I thought both teams were looking fairly happy to get rid of the Monty and forget about him. They've really thrown me off by showing that they wanted to do that.
Yeah, the Monty pick would definitely surprise me as well, especially with it being banned the first two maps, once by LAGr, once by themselves. So I think they probably maybe didn't want to show that they can win a Monty and play the Monty, or it might just be the way they defend the other two maps compared to this one. They're a lot more susceptible to being pushed out by the Monty. But especially with this now, is like you saw in the cafe game and the club game, the lineups they played were quite, in my opinion, on attack, weren't the normal. You know, they didn't run what you'd expect to be run to be able to clear efficiently and properly. Or was that LAGr who did that?
Sorry, I just set up the lobby, so I wasn't listening, unfortunately, but we are going back in for the second half here with 4-2 on the board for LAGr, and we are going back into the final map of this best of 3 series. It is obviously 1-1 at the moment, with Clown having taken Cafe 7-4, and then LAGr having taken Clubhouse 7-4. So, a very, very close game here as we go into the final half. All of the bands in correctly by the looks of it, and we've just been discussing about this attack lineup. They haven't gone for Ash or Zofia. They've gone for Buck Sledge. They've got the IQ, so they've got some good frag kind of operators in the Buck and IQ. The Sledge to me is a little bit. I'm not sure about it. I really am not sure about it, because I don't rate his gun as highly as the others that we've mentioned. And although he brings the nades, the Ash Sophia can kind of achieve as much in terms of destroying utility as a Sledge can. But we are seeing the surprise pick of the Amaru coming out as well. So as I say that, we get a pick which I definitely wasn't expecting.
Well, she was given a buff, obviously, in the last patch. She was given the decreased time between her repelling into a window and pulling up her gun, so she could ADS and aim a lot quicker and shoot a gun in general, as well as obviously didn't they make it so her now the window doesn't open until she gets right on top of it. So
I definitely think. Sorry, I was just going to say, I definitely think as well, one of the most important aspects we have now is, we've been talking about sheer fragging ability. We have got 2 of the G36. G36? Have I got the wrong name of it there? What's the IQ gun? Is it the G36 or not? G8.
The G8,
sorry, yeah, the G8. So we've got 2 of those on the board. And it's definitely one of the most powerful guns on attack, with a 50-round mag, the angled grip. There's a lot that you can do. Obviously the ACOG as well, which the R4C now isn't allowed to have, but somehow the G8 is allowed to. So there's 2 very, very good guns on the board there. With that said, I'm just not sure that I'm not sure if this is a good site for Amaru. The hatches which she can come up are fairly kind of contested areas. You're not going to get up them safely, and Vulcan here just kind of sat outside of the 90 window. If he's going to yeet himself into a 90 window, it's going to be a play.
Yeah, I definitely think he's looking to maybe, especially you wouldn't expect the Mary pick, so it might just be a one-off, and you might just think and look at it, use it to his advantage, as well as he's got the G8, which is again one of the best guns in the game. So him and IQ may be looking for it.
Pugnoy's actually just come up this main stairs and got a double kill onto the Jaeger Wamai. I'm not sure if he got that because of the Amari noise jumping in the window. I'm not sure if the defender just kind of looked away, but he has made this play, and he's already at the top of the main stairs looking into this bar rotate. And he's lighting up a Maestro, and he gets a third kill. Pugnoy here with the triple kill, completely swinging this match. The plants was going down here from Pag, and the defenders just kind of... I don't know where they're at. The pulse below might be able to deny the... No, he's not even able to deny the plant. Wasted the C4, and just like that, we're in a post plant now, so Mute does get one kill onto Pugnoy here. Unfortunately, isn't going to get an ace this round, but definitely MVP of this round so far, as he just made the play into site, and Mute trying to retake the site. Pulse also fairly lit up, but trying to make a play through the other side, and between the two of them, they've got the potential to retake this, but they're in such an awkward position. Pulse gets injured now, so just over to Mute, who gets one kill, but just like that, LAGr 5-2 up.
Yeah, like you saw there, quite obvious and evident is that LAGr looked to play very aggressive going through and up main stairs, and Vulcan replaying into 90, so they looked very aggressive onto the hold and the way Clown were playing, which I think will work in their favour. Like we said, is they definitely seem to have the better guns like the two teams. But Clown were playing a lot more, strat orientated and using the strats the way they're attacking as well as the way they were holding to their advantage. Whereas it looks like now LAGr know that they and probably feel confident that they can take and win most of the gunfights. They are looking to take it whenever possible.
Yeah, I agree, and I gotta say, across watching Cafe and Clubhouse, I did think LAGr were quite sloppy with their utility. They were failing to clear out some shields and some evil eyes, and also on defense they just didn't take the necessary utility to... They didn't bring evil eyes when they had C4s below, and just small details like that which got missed out. But I think the Jackal ban inadvertently has forced them onto this Sophia IQ Thatcher combo. And I think it's important to note Pugnoy is playing the AR-33. Now, the LA is a good gun, but the higher fire rate and the... I don't know for sure, but I'm fairly certain the LA doesn't have an angled grip, and the AR does. So Pugnoy is able to play quite aggressive here, playing kind of more of an entry version of Thatcher, so to speak.
Yeah, I do really like Thatcher. I just think he's got the L8, which is a good gun. Obviously, you can run different attack variations and stuff, but he just offers him the AR-33, which in my opinion is such a good gun. Obviously, has a reduced mag towards compared to L8, but it does have a higher fire rate, and I'm pretty sure it does mean the exact same damage.
The only, I've played quite a lot of Thatcher, and the only disadvantage I've ever seen of the AR-33 is if you're pre-firing things, you run out of ammo so quickly. It really doesn't have very many reserve mags. But with that said, Pugnoy obviously playing kind of like a support role. It's not necessarily going to matter all too much, and he did work in that last round, just getting in quickly, coming up the main stairs and taking out the two players. Clown here have gone full 20-second meta, bringing not just the Jaeger or my Maestro, which they had been, but also now bringing the Goyo as well. And as I say, the Goyo gets the first kill onto Street, who was trying to go below to take out the Mute Jammers. And Sleepy's just got a kill onto him. Wasted his C4 in the process, unfortunately, but I really like the Goyo pick with the extended barrel. I think it's a really interesting gun.
Yeah, the Vector is quite a good gun. Obviously, doesn't have the biggest mag in the game again, 26, just like Thatcher's AR-33. But again, a very high fire rate. The vehicle is quite good on it. It's not the worst. Obviously, it's dependent on the situation you're in, on how good the Vector is. But especially with the Extended Barrel, it means you can take gunfights at any range, as long as obviously if you're against a down cog, you're always going to be at a disadvantage over the longer distances. It just makes it a bit more easier.
We're seeing such a classic example of a difference between the two teams here, as the LAGr looking to be stalling out, just walk straight up to a shield and get the kill. And they looked like they were stalling out in this round. They were just kind of getting picked off before even getting in the building. I still don't see this round going their way. The mood at this point is going to be really important because they're probably feeling pretty confident being 5-2 up. If they start throwing a couple of rounds, then I'm pretty sure that will dissipate quite quickly. With that said, they level out the man advantage. This round is by no means over.
Yeah, they're still haven't got rid of that Maestro camo over the hat and stuff and the shield, like I said. So they're leaving, and the Maestro on 90. They're leaving so much utility up by the defenders to give them so much intel. Whereas, which is going to, in my opinion, pull back for possibly against them.
Sleepy swings and gets a double kill, and just as you're talking about that Evil Eye being so crucial in study, you see the full potential of it is the pings, or not just the pings, but the Evil Eye zapping the attackers distracted them so much that they were just kind of looking away from their flank, and they're focusing too much on the Hibana pellets trying to get down on the wall and trying to take out the Evil Eye, and it just leaves Sleepy to make a really good play, swinging out from that door and taking out both of the remaining attackers. And I think I agree with what we've been saying so far. LAGR definitely seem to have a better gun skill, but Clown seem to be making full use of the utility. They're getting a lot of intel out of this Evil Eye, and the introduction of the Goyo, it might just be tipping the balance a little bit, as LAGR are going to have so much to deal with.
Yeah, I would like to see the Zofia stuck by LAGR, because I just think, like they are now at 6 wicket, it's just because I just think they need to make sure they efficiently use the Thatcher grenade and the Zofia to get rid of. You've got the sledge, you should be able to get rid of Study, Maestro, maybe. Obviously he doesn't expose himself to sight, so the Zofia or even a Thatcher is a lot easier to get rid of it, but they definitely need to use the utility that they can have. That is being quite spare at the moment, not really using it for anything. O-classes, they need to. Just get rid of the utility. They've got rid of the shield quite early on. That was on the bookshelves by 90, as well as the Maestro cam on 90 and the Study, which really just gave them so much more control and being able to hold a lot easier.
I'm just spectating Fredo at the moment, because I'm just thinking that although the sledge obviously brings a lot of capability to destroy all of these bits of utility, the way that the defenders are setting it up means that all of the utility is kind of out of the reach of the sledge. Like, he'll be able to get the Goyo shields on these doorways, but he'll probably get a little bit of damage in the process of doing so. And the Evil Eyes, I'm not sure where Fredo's actually playing. It looked like one was on the 90, so I can't actually see where he's put that Evil Eye, but the sledge will be able to take that out fairly easily. I'm just wondering, maybe less so with this setup, I'm wondering whether or not just going on to the Ash for Pugnoy, for Rexroy might be the better play.
Yeah, he definitely seems to be putting the Maestros in a position to hold sight and watch sight, and they are going 22nd meta, obviously with the Nitro on the Bandit and Goyo and the utility they are using. I really do think they are going to need to use their utility a lot more wisely to make sure that they can push a lot easier onto the site.
As we say, that Vulcan is actually using his Zofia utility for soft destruction, and I can understand the attraction of wanting to do this as a Zofia. It really is kind of something that's changed in the meta recently. The Zofia is no longer able to do that. It just seems to me like the utility is getting wasted once again. All of this soft destruction is coming out. I don't know if there's an Evil Eye there, or there was or something, but that's all of the Zofia utility thrown into a trophy entrance, and Street gets the opening kill, but the utility battle is going to become really interesting here against the man advantage.
Yeah, even though they do have the man advantage, they've still got 1 or 2 Glow shields to go through, 1 or 2 Maestros to go through. They've got, I haven't seen them venture below, and they've got 1 Nitro now left on the Glow. So they still have a lot of utility since they need to walk through before they can...
As you say that, LAGR are just absolutely stomping their way through side, ignoring the majority of utility, which I think this time they've been able to just kind of shoot it off. The Goyo shield in Astro was just shot off from Repel, and Sleepy's doing his best to retake this. I think Sleepy is showing that he's definitely got the most gun skill on the team for Clown. But LAGR put themselves on match point. This has been convincing so far from LAGR. I think they are just kind of ignoring the 20-second utility meta, and just it's definitely keeping Clown in the game, that's for sure. Like, the utility and the infotail that the defenders are getting is definitely giving them a slight opportunity, but LAGR look like they've got the ball rolling here on their Villa attacks.
Yeah, it's like we said, it looks like LAGR leaving the utility up is giving Clown a chance to stay in the round, but the gun skill that they possess, they're able to a lot of the time overwhelm Clown. I think it'd be so much simpler for LAGR if they were able to get rid of the utility that they need to get rid of, like the girls and moisturizer. It would make it so much easier with the defenders having less utility, less cams to use, less, call outs and information. It would make it, I think, a lot easier for them to push. I think even though they aren't seeming to be quite on a roll and dominant, they are making it a lot harder on themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I think LAGR coming out of its best of 3 will probably look over this match and probably see that they've got a little bit of room for improvement. But I think they've shown today that they are definitely a strong team. Like, they've definitely got good coordination between them. They've definitely got good gun skill, and they're confident getting refrags. They just they need to tidy up a few of the loose ends, and I think they'll be a really, really strong team. Clown, I feel like they've got a much harder job behind them in terms of, I feel like they just need more experience. They know what they're doing with their utility, but they don't seem to be getting quite as many refrags, as many opening kills. I'm sure it will come to them in time. I think they've definitely got some good players on their side, but they, I don't know if they're a newer team. I assume they are. They definitely seem a little bit outclassed so far here on Villa.
Yeah, I just think for like the additional Vulcan, it would have helped them, especially with the gun skill. He possesses it against his opponent. He's probably up there with the best gun skill on LAGr. So bringing a fragger in who is able to do his job quite efficiently, LAGr just definitely, like you said, they need to sort out how they want to do defences with him either being on a deep roam or playing closer, and making sure they've got him and his roaming partner, if you want to call him that, to be a lot closer together and a lot more coordinated.
Yeah, I think LAGR are underusing Street at the moment. Street has got fantastic gun skill, and I think he should be on a duo roam with Vulcan. I think between them, if they supported it with Rextroy as kind of a third roamer, I think they'd be a force to be reckoned with. They've definitely got the support players who can hold down the site, and Sleepy actually gets the opening kill here. Sleepy not only gets the opening kill, he also causes a team kill between Vulcan and Pugnoy, but Sleepy does get traded off at last as LAGR find themselves a man down within the first minute and a half of this final match point so far.
Yeah, I mean, LAGr looking a little bit not as coordinated there, and it's not.
Oh, the mute just over peaking, and just as we're saying about the man advantage, it's taken away from them straight away.
Yeah, like you see though, it does seem when they are quite aggressive and they go quite straight for side, they win the round and they come in the round quite comfortably. When they have to and they do kind of sort like a roam clear and a more of a slower push, they do struggle to come out on top of the round.
Eamon here is in a really good position. He's just flanked his way up into statue, and he's just contesting into the bedroom door. Vulcan's completely unaware and gets taken out as a result of it, and this round the entire time has looked like LAGR chasing that opening kill that they lost. They look like they're just lacking the intel as Eamon here gets a second kill. Really good roam from him. I think he worked his way back up to the top floor and retook it. And we're seeing Street now trying to clutch a 1 versus 3 to win the best of 3 for his team.
Yeah, definitely. You've seen. I really do think the one adaptation they could make is for the attackers is maybe. I'm not sure how much they're able to use the IQ's utility, with not much being brought on the defender's side. Obviously, you've got stuff like your mutes and your bandits, but they are quite generic where you'd expect them to be.
Yeah, they can be taken out by the EMPs. And
yeah, it's a lot more. I'd rather see the IQ switched on to maybe like a Nomad or a Gridlock, because, like you said there, they have been susceptible to being flanked on and kind of like pushed onto.
Yeah, and I think this match isn't over by any means. Like, LAGR got a couple of attack rounds on the board. I always like to, whenever you're looking at the flow of a match, it's important to note that Clown also got 2 of their first 3 attacks on and then proceeded to lose the rest of their rounds. So at LAGr, although they're sitting on the match point here, they've only managed to achieve so far what Clown did on their attack. They haven't done any better than what Clown did. They just need to get this final round on the board to seal the game off. But it's definitely coming down to the wire here between the two teams.
To locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, look, they definitely need to. LAGr definitely need to use their utility to get rid of evil eyes and all that. And I really do think the possible introduction of a Membury gridlock on the main stairs, like you saw the LAGr try to flank. He didn't get killed. There probably was a drone on the flank, but like you saw, Sleepy was able to push out of the aviator custody door and get the double kill. So I really do think the introduction of somebody to help them, even if they do have a few claymores, so even trying to use their utility that they have more to their advantage, but they don't seem to be using it as effectively as they should be.
I agree, and I think we're seeing an attacker meta where we have to be so careful in terms of what utility we take, because there's so much to clear. At the moment, the IQ and the Thatcher just seem to be achieving the same purpose. They're both getting rid of this Mute or the Bandit, whichever the defender running at the time. And they're not really achieving anything by running both, and I think there's an empty spot where they could definitely either just throw in, like you said, either a Nomad or Gridlock to watch a flank, or just another Ash or Zofia just to take more gunfights. And I think it's costing them a little bit. I don't think this is unreasonable to expect them to take this final round here, but I think if they don't, it's going to be really interesting seeing the mentality if it goes to 6-5.
Yeah, they've really set themselves up. Well, even though they are 6-4, they've still got, in my opinion, a slight gradual uphill battle. Like, they are in my opinion, they are expected to possibly win from the situation, but they still have to work quite hard for it, because obviously Willoughby's become decided, and just the way they seem to be attacking and want to attack, especially now, they've been a lot more slow and steady, which hasn't seemed to give them success over the last 3 maps.
My concern here is obviously Raisin is just roaming downstairs below. He doesn't seem to be having much effect. And LAGr are taking a lot of this map control over on the north side of the map. It's going to be kind of difficult for them if the attackers are able to open up the vault wall, maybe get some picks in sight. They're going to be playing for a retake again with no C4s. With that said, a minute and a half here has gone by for LAGr. They've got some map control, but they haven't got the opening pick. They've got a minute 20 left on the board. As Vulcan swings in, gets the opening pick onto Eamon, so that is absolutely crucial here. As he is, he's looking to get rid of the magnets, but doesn't decide to get rid of the Evil Eye so far. So his teammates kind of looking at him, trying to wait for him to see whether or not he's going to get rid of it. But I think he's already used all of his utility. And as I say that, a C4 downs Rexroy and Vulcan. They both get picked up successfully, so unlucky there for Clown, who find themselves 2 down of a man count in this final round with just 45 seconds left to go. The 1 C4 that they had below was being utilised, and to little effect, and they are going to be... Freda actually gets a kill with the Evil Eye, so 3 versus 4 here with 30 seconds left on the board. Freda just trying to down another player with this Evil Eye on the 90, which for some reason hasn't been taken out by the attackers. The defenders definitely going to have to rely on their guns to get alive. They've got Sleepy available, who's got the most kills for them at the moment, but he's only on a sliver of HP. As Freda's going to be under a lot of pressure here just to take the gunfights with that Elder. I don't know why Freda's on cameras. There's 15 seconds left. You need that Elder shooting people, and Freda trying to light up a Thatcher. Plant going down as Sleepy does turn it into a 3 versus 3. The diffuser goes down, and Freda playing from a retake with Sleepy, who at the moment, seeing where the diffuser is, doesn't have a C4 available to him, so Freda gets injured, and it's all on Sleepy here in the 1 versus 3 with just a sliver of HP, and it's all over as LAGr take it 7-4 on Cafe at Villa as well.
Yeah, you saw the very end there. I think Freda is a definitely 2 hits it in a Thatcher. It caused Thatcher to look away and turn towards throwing an EMP, so he could have possibly used that to his advantage for himself or to his teammates to call out and try to play aggressive on that plant and try and stop it. But
yeah,
they don't seem to be that coordinated on their defences, especially on Cafe, compared to what they were on Villa, such as they were compared to Cafe.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to both teams, because I've seen a very good best of 3 series here across some very defender-sided maps, but my MVP coming out of that match is actually Sleepy. Although he was on the losing team, he definitely stood out as one of their top fraggers. I think it's worth giving a shout out to Vulcan as well. Definitely got a lot of kills. Definitely some room for improvement in terms of his chemistry with the team. But it's definitely just showing the kind of raw gun skill that LAGr have got. And yeah, a good game overall for both teams. Cool. I'm going to end the broadcast there. Very enjoyable match. I can't actually find the button to end the broadcast. There we go. No, not yet. I'm just doing so now.